You are now listening to Nerd Rage Radio with Bobby Skullface and Adam Russman. This podcast is intended for mature audiences only and may not fit with your sensitive sensibilities. You may be a victim of meaningless outrage, or you may, in fact, be a big ninny pants. If this is the case, please feel free to turn it off now. This is no country for Ninny McNinny pants. So crack open the Mountain Dew. Make sure the cheese doodles are super fresh. We're in your mother's basement. It's Nerd Rage Radio.
And welcome to episode 196 of Nerd Rage Radio with your host Adam Russman and Bobby Skullface. Bobby, how are you today?
I'm quite well, Adam. Thanks for asking.
That's good. It's 10:30 a.m. The weather's great, and we're having a lovely cup of coffee right now. Slurp coffee sound. Anyway, those other two flunkies aren't here. We don't need them.
Just the two of us.
That's right.
You know,
me and you.
I like
and
to,
you and me.
I really want to start off on a positive note.
Okay, let's do it.
I was sent this by Charlie, who has probably the most fucked up sense of humor.
It's good that you want to set this on a positive note because I have about 45 minutes worth of notes just on myself that's all negative.
Really?
All negative.
It's all negative?
Yeah.
Oh, wow.
Do you see? Do you see?
Let's see here. So, for those Nerd Rage folks that are listening, this is a woman passing gas.
Listen.
I got a surprise for you. Listen up real close, okay?
Oh, God. Dude, so much cellulite back there. Oh,
It's like a bag.
Oh.
It's like a
Smell that?
It's like a bag of knots.
it's like chunky cottage
I
cheese.
feel much better now.
Oh, God.
But it's the fact that her fart still smells like Chewbacca.
Sounds like Chewbacca. And I thought they smelled bad on the outside.
On the outside.
All right, man. So a lot in the Nerd Weeks. I think we're going to have some good discussion today. You got
Good.
some Star Wars news
Yes.
that we're going to talk about. And I think that's going to lead into some good discussion as well. I've got so much to talk about that I had to get the notes back up in my life.
Yeah,
for
you've
a
got
reason.
me. You've got me all antsy. I'm on the edge of my seat.
Well, so the first thing I guess I should talk about is I've been working so much. I know you guys are tired of hearing that song and dance, but I haven't gone to my basement much. I finally played the first game of 30K that I played in probably 2 months. And one of our newer guys, he probably had the worst game he's ever had.
And
ever.
he's new.
That
That can't be good.
It's
for
not
him.
good.
It's not good for morale.
I'm like, dude, you're gonna be all right. You're gonna get through this. All right. So, I don't want to get too far into the game, but like, I rolled to go first. I went first, so I set up first, and then the other player can set up based off my setup. That way
Everybody gets an advantage.
Exactly. Well, he put his shit right in front of a very strong but short range set of tanks. And I'm like, dude, what are you doing? He's like, no, it's going to be fine. I'm like, it's not going to be fine. It's not going to be fine at all. And then of course what happened was like the perfect shot happened, and then like he couldn't fail to, like it was a slaughter. It was ridiculous, but it was fun. We had a good time. He learned a lot, like picking the brain. So
He didn't have a whole lot of fun, but you know what? He learned a lot.
he did learn a lot. It's one of those. He's like, yeah, I really fucked this one up. I was like, yeah, dude, you did. I was like, do you want to start this over again? He's like, no, let's just play it through, and we can talk about it after the fact. So anyway, I did get to
good
see
on him for
a
finishing.
lot. Yeah, I get to see a lot of movies here recently. And I was going to go through the title of them. I don't know if I talked about this. Finally saw Into the Spider-Verse.
You did. Well, you told me. I don't know if you told on the show.
No, it was on the show. It's personal.
Yeah.
I saw Venom.
Well, wait. What did you think about it?
I'm going to get.
Oh, you're gonna go. Okay,
list.
I got you. Okay.
I saw majority of Bumblebee.
Okay. Did you? Was it all in order? Or did you see like the beginning and the end?
I'm like halfway through.
Okay. All right. So you're watching it. Like you didn't skip around.
No.
Okay.
No.
I got you.
And it's fine. It's fine. John Cena is too much. He's too much. Like he's almost doing an impersonation of his WWE character.
I agree.
Like on purpose.
I agree.
And the scar was too much. The fact that he picks up the gun, he's sitting at his desk in like an office, you know, and somebody's like, "Sir, here's this report that's, you know, printed on the little dot matrix printer." He's like, "It's about time." It pulls like the fucking desert. This is ridiculous, man. You know what I mean? Fucking stupid.
You got that in frame?
Yeah, fucking dumb. So he is the weakest link thus far. I saw Alita: Battle Angel. Mm-hmm. I saw Batman vs. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, the cartoon.
Oh, okay.
I watched Endgame again.
Okay.
And I finished American Gods. I finished Game of Thrones. Listened to a book called Varos right now. It's a 30K book. And that's it. No painting, no nothing, no hobbying, just fucking work and movies. There's also some other shows. I know there's some other shit that I've watched. Oh, one thing that I picked up here recently, there's a cartoon Avengers. There was like that cartoon Avengers that was very cartoony that came out a few years ago. And then they had one after the success of the Avengers movie. It was more like X-Men style animation. It wasn't like cartoon. You know, there's like the Cartoon Network that looked like the Clone War Cartoon Network one. The cartoony one, not the animated one. So they had 2 seasons of that. I think it was called Avengers Assemble or something like that. And they changed the artwork, but it's still loosely based off of that other one. You know, so like the storyline is still
that's interesting.
Changing.
How is it?
It's okay. It's kind of campy. Red Skull's in it. He like stole an Iron Man armor from Tony, and like the Falcon's in it. But this is like before they brought the Falcon in Civil War. So he looks like the traditional Falcon costume. And I know at one point his costume looks different because I've seen some other stuff. And they bring Thanos into it. They bring Ant-Man into it. So like I'm kind of just interested in watching it to see how they change it as the movies affect that world. That's like the interesting experiments that I'm curious about. They're 3 or 4 seasons into it. It might be over now. It's like a Disney XD show.
Oh, okay. It was. I did like the Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
That was it. Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Yeah.
Yeah, I liked it.
Yeah, that's
now
good.
It's called Avengers Assemble, but it's the same. It's the same storyline. I think it's even the same voices. They just look more comic booky. They look more realistic comic book. Like the proportions are correct. It's not stylized. You know, like Hawkeye's in it, Black Widow's in it, Thor's in it. And like I guess Iron Man, and I think that's it. So everybody from the movie. Am I missing anybody? Like Black Panther's not in it yet, but he was in the Avengers Assembled. Mm-hmm. Vision's not in it, but Vision was in
everybody.
Earth's Mightiest Heroes.
Everybody made an appearance.
Yeah.
Fucking, it was almost like '90s X-Men in that regard.
Yeah, I don't think
it had a
Falcon,
long run.
Yeah, I think it was only 2 seasons. But it
No,
was one of those.
We're not talking about the same show then. The one I'm talking about had like 5 seasons or something. Like
that came out like right near Avengers.
No, it was out before then because it was on Netflix and shit. That's where I saw it.
Well, maybe
it almost looks like the '90s style. It doesn't look like that more.
That's the one I'm talking about.
I thought you said there was one. You think this one is the more exaggerated?
No. The first 2 seasons of that were more exaggerated, and they changed.
And then they changed it. Yeah, I don't recall. I don't remember enough details.
So anyway, watching that right now. So I also made a couple of pre-orders. I pre-ordered the in-game Cap Hot Toys, the in-game Iron Man Hot Toys, and then the Infinity War Thor. I'm not about that chunky Thor life.
They haven't made it anyway.
I know.
Yeah.
But then I did also see the statues, the Sideshow 1/4 scale statues of the 3.
Mm-hmm. But they're Iron Studios.
Iron Studios, yeah. But the Iron Man you can't pre-order yet. The Thor you can pre-order for $700. The Cap,
not terrible.
The Cap you can pre-order for $700, or the deluxe with Mjolnir and the maskless head. So I'll definitely get that one.
Yeah,
get the fuck out of here. You know what I mean?
But more so
and
for
you have a
Mjolnir
shield.
or more so for the maskless head? Because I like maskless Cap in
I
this
like,
universe.
I do too. I do too. But I do. I'm gonna get in. I want to get into the Endgame thing afterwards.
Okay.
Because I had a revelation about Endgame, which I think that nobody's kind of talked about, like the amount of things we got to see. Mm-hmm. Now,
in that movie specifically, or throughout the journey?
In that movie specifically.
Okay.
I mean, the fact, like little things, like the fact that we got to see a Hail Hydra, Cap saying Hail Hydra, and like you can say it's a cheap trick or whatever, but it was an effective tool that they interwove into the story, and it's a callback to a very pivotal moment in recent comic book history. And I think that if you look at that, like, dude, that's a fucking smart thing to do.
Mm-hmm.
That's the kind of shit that, like, dude, you know when like this happened? What if he said like Hail Hydra?
Yeah.
Dude, that would have been so much better, and like we would have fucking lost our fucking shit. But the fact that they did it, but there was so much going on, I don't think we stopped to appreciate the level of what happened in that. All right, so let's start at the top of the list here. Into the Spider-Verse, and I'm sorry to say, Chris, it was fine, and there were some interesting storytelling elements, but like the main protagonist, the main antagonist in it was kind of like not believing in yourself, you know?
It's like the Happy Feet of comic book movies.
Almost. It's like
like where the enemy
Well,
was
I'll
the
tell
enemy
you.
in Happy Feet was pollution.
So I liked Miles' character. I liked everything that kind of worked. There's some cool stuff with his uncle who's the Prowler, and they brought that in. But like Kingpin was literally the size of this room, like circumference wise. His character design was fucking dumb. He looked like a boob, like a big old boob, like with a little head.
But like so,
He was so round.
I know the answer to this question, but just for the sake of the audience, is this more so related to a stylistic complaint or how it affects the story?
Yes.
All right.
Yeah, because he's like the size of a bus. He looks like a bus, right? He's got a little head. He looks like a bus, right? And he's so big and he's so powerful, so to speak. It's just like, well, that's not King. Like Kingpin is supposed to be strong. I get it. I hear you, man. But he's just a normal human. He doesn't have any superhuman powers.
Right.
Like Kingpin is a problem for Daredevil.
Right.
He's not really a problem for Spider-Man.
Because the fat or the perceived fat is actually just like brute strength.
Yeah, whatever. But it's fucking bullshit. You know, like Spider-Man on his weakest day can lift like 30 tons.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, you know, it just it's so stupid. And even Miles is a little kid, and it's funny they do approach it like he basically grown overnight. Like his pants don't fit the next day.
Right.
But I will tell you one thing that like it makes me realize I'm so out of touch with modern pop rap music. I don't even want to call it rap anymore because I can't understand what they're saying, right?
Yeah.
But Miles can't even understand what he's saying. There's a little bit where he's like, yeah, and like he doesn't know the words either, and he's like singing in there, and it's like, God, this music is trash. Like the end of the credits some of it's okay, some of it but whatever the credit song is, it was so bad I couldn't go through it to see if there's an end credit scene.
Yeah.
You know,
not that I want to get lost in the woods on that, but like Joe Button and them had an interesting conversation on that shit. And
on Spider-Verse or mumble rap. Or mumble rap.
Yeah. And they said that like Joe was like, look, he was like, the thing is like, he's like, I don't understand what these motherfuckers are saying either. And he was like, but what I realized, and he's right, is that like almost like what you're saying, like where Miles couldn't even understand it, is the kids don't really care what's being said anymore. The kids are like, what they're into of it is the cadence and melody of it. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, but
like that's that's what they
and
think,
and that's dumb.
It's different. But what's interesting is that like what Joe said was like, it's not for me. And he was like, but these people today, they can't do what my generation did.
Yeah.
But to be fair, my generation can't do what this generation can do either. And I think there is an interesting point there.
There might be, man. But you know what, dude? When it comes down to it, like, I think sometimes we give a lot of value to something like, oh, it's just, they're taking on shit. Well, you know what? There's some dumb shit through the years.
Oh, for sure.
You know what I mean? Like,
for sure.
Like, there's a reason that something's called a one-hit wonder, And the thing is, nowadays, these people just have a better, more efficient, more effective marketing machine. And it's been proven.
Well,
the more you hear a song,
but you know
the
what
the more you like it. That's a fact.
I mean,
you know what I mean? That's why I want to call you on your cell phone. I hate Drake, but I know that
he can
song.
rap. He can rap.
I don't care.
Yeah, but he's not like a mumble rapper.
But my
like,
point
yeah,
is,
I know what
my
you
point
mean.
is like, that I like that song because I just heard it so much. It wiggles its way into your brain. And you end up fucking liking it, regardless if it's a good song or not. I'm just saying, that's what happens in the day. Listen to the same shit.
But
over
their
again.
marketing. The difference in this generation is their marketing is this.
Oh, absolutely.
You know,
Absolutely.
like this. Most of these kids today, they're not being pushed with big label rollouts anymore.
Yeah.
It's all what they're doing. Like, you know what I mean? They'll do a cartwheel in a Walmart, and that will go viral on Instagram. And then that's how they get their album news out or some shit, you know?
That's what happens.
It's interesting.
So the character design, in with the exception of Kingpin, was really good. I dug that. Like, how I'm interested to see more of that world. There was this one choice in, like, when people were glitching, like people from other universes were glitching, all cartoony and everything. It kind of pulled me out a little bit. It was too much because it made everything feel fake. And then the fact, like, Spider Pig in story is a cartoon who can pull a giant hammer out of his pocket. You know what I mean? Like, and like he's like, here's a giant hammer. Don't worry, it'll fit in your pocket because it's like this magic cartoon hammer. You know what I mean?
Like Roger Rabbit verse or something.
Yeah, yeah.
I don't hate that though, honestly. Like,
I don't
hearing
hate.
it, I haven't seen it.
I don't hate it, but it's just like oh, come on, man. Like you know, when you start to add that slapstick, it takes away from how serious things are. You know what I mean? So, and I give it a 7.5.
That sounds about what I would expect.
All right, Saw Venom. I didn't hate it.
Uh-huh.
It's a really good movie about an alien monster that bonds to a guy, and they have a fun romp through San Francisco. You know, the bad guys were trash, but like it makes me be like, man, they could have, if they had fucking slow burnt this and did something with Spider-Man in the proper Spider-Man universe, they could have done something with this.
Right.
You know what I mean? Like, this would be a movie that I would want to see and I would enjoy.
And the tone is right.
Yeah, yeah. I do find it interesting that he's got to eat people to stay alive, or he's got to, or you know, spoiler alert, or he starts to eat his own internal organs. That's kind of wild to me.
Yeah.
I don't know, man. It was interesting. There's some who's the chick, the main love interest, that actress. She was very horribly miscast.
I do think
wasn't feeling that one at all.
I do. I think I even said that. Like, I definitely agree with you that it's not a bad movie about an alien monster possession.
Yeah, I feel the same way about the first Transformers.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Speaking of Transformers, so the Cybertron scenes look good. Give me that movie.
Yeah.
You know, and I know I'm late
to
to
general
and I'm late to the
consensus,
game on that. It was a little anime.
Yeah, a little video gaming.
Yeah, CGI. But I like the character design looked good, and it fucking worked. Like, the world looked good. Like, I'm interested to look at
believable.
Cybertron. Yeah,
You're
it's not a bunch of crystal rock spikes. You know what I mean?
You get the realization that, like, yeah, I could do this for 2
Yeah,
hours.
yeah. That's not an issue. So, and I don't mind. Actually, the girl that's in it, like the main character, she's kind of heartwarming. Like, her story, I don't have an issue with her. The interaction with Bumblebee, the fact that he lost his memory and he can't talk and everything.
Right.
I have no issue with that. I haven't got to the bit where he's like super clumsy breaking stuff. Like, he's like hiding. I've seen him hide on the beach. You know what I mean? And like, that's fine.
The clumsy scene's coming.
It's just you know, the bad guys in it so far are dumb, and John Cena's dumb. He's dumb. Like, I would actually just, you know what would be fine? It just, he lost his memory, and the whole thing is like kind of like a she's 18 years old, and it's a coming of age film with her, and he's just her buddy. It's like a buddy thing, and they go on a road trip, and they have antics as she's trying to find her stepmom who married her dad, or whatever, or she finds out her dad had a child before he got married to her mom, and it's this growing thing, and slowly as they're going there, he gets his memory back. There's a little bit of, you know, he's got to get a message to Prime, but I don't even need all the Decepticons. I don't need any army shit. Just a girl and a robot. Give me that shit. Yeah, why not? Why, like, let's not be, like, no, if you want to take properties in a new direction and keep them fresh, and just do something different like that. I mean, like, that part, that would have been endearing. This movie's just fucking dumb. The Decepticon, is anybody else buying this? The Deception's in their name. It's fucking stupid. You know what I mean? Like, and once you do that, I feel like it pulls you back, and it makes you realize how ridiculous it is.
Exactly.
Like, oh yeah, that is fucking dumb. Yeah, that was something that was made for 5-year-olds.
There is a difference between laughing with us and laughing at us.
Yeah, and that was definitely laughing at us.
Yeah.
Alita Battle Angel. I thought it was pretty good, man.
Yeah.
Like, all right, it's good as long as they continue the series. I want to see where it's going to go. Because actually, what's his face from Ed Norton's the bad guy, but he's you don't really see that he's the bad guys at the very end. So I'm assuming there's another one that they're doing. The CGI was good. The character design was good. It seemed like an interesting story, and that there was some real losses, real gains, and we'll see what happens. Yeah, consequence. The premise of this like battle thing that they do, like this roller skate fight thing that's in the world, it's very pod racery, but I can also see it's very anime, which is probably where the pod race kind of came from. So it kind of fits. You know what I mean? Like this kind of reminds me of something I don't like, but that thing was biting off of this type of trope anyway. So it's kind of forgivable in that way. And it's funny, man. Like she looks really cool, and like you get used to the big eyes really quick.
Yeah, how quick?
Like instantly.
Yeah,
yeah. Like I'm buying this.
That's cool.
And there's kind of a reason why her eyes are so big. Like it's not like she's a warrior. Like it's made like so she can
enhance vision.
Yeah. And a lot faster. So I watched Batman vs. TMNT. Have you seen this yet?
No, I read the comic. I don't know if it's based on the comic, but I read the comic. Is it trash?
It's not trash.
Okay, because comic was
but
kind of trash.
It's not that great either. It's very simple. It's very episodic. It's almost like if they were still running the episode of Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, like this TV series, and like the Dark Knight, like the Batman animated series, and like part 1 of the story would be on Batman, and part 2 would be on the Ninja Turtles.
Okay,
that's kind of how it felt, right? So the one cool thing is like Batman fucks up the Foot Clan. He fucking wipes the floor with them, right? And then his first interaction with Shredder, he kind of fucks up Shredder. But then Shredder does some fucking magic like hit to Batman. Like for the rest of the thing, like, they kind of talk about like how Batman's a little weakened by it. Like some touch of death that Batman still survived. But like he's been weakened by it. The Turtles were like, you don't realize as you get grown how ridiculous Michelangelo is. You know what I mean? But at the same time, he's like, all right, I did that well. That was fun. That was stupid. Oh, that there you go. There's the Mikey I know.
Yeah. There's a fine line with him.
There is. Donnie's design was really bad. Like his all how like the turtles got on their cheeks. You know what I mean?
Big fan.
Yeah, big fan. No cheeks.
Ooh.
Like he had like a fucking thumb head.
Yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that. It's kind of how like that Nickelodeon series was too. They all had like little thumb heads. I'm a puppet.
I don't like it at all, and I wasn't feeling that. And Donnie's like my favorite turtle. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And Batman also whips all the Ninja Turtles' asses at the same time, like by himself, just fucks them up. Fucks like it's that part.
I think that's in the comic too.
Yeah, that part is cool. There's no spoiler. There's no Splinter. I was kind of upset about that. But like, so it's definitely Damian is in it, and Batgirl's in it, and Ra's al Ghul comes in it. So you see like the Foot and like, the
he's in the
Shadows.
comic too.
So it might be the same story, but it's like you almost like listen. No offense to Turtle fans, right? And I'm sure the Shredder is he's head of some badass ninja clan. I'll give him that, but he's not fucking with League of Shadows.
Right?
It's not even in the same like
right.
The fact that Ra's al Ghul would even lower himself to like communicate with somebody like Shredder, I'm like, get the fuck out of here. Yeah, I mean, it's like you're a joke, bro. Like, you know what I mean? It's almost like you're talking about the UFC champion of the world, and there's some like little Taibo class. You know what I mean?
And he's gonna cooperate with him.
Yeah, get the fuck out of here. I don't
and
it's like I want the Lazarus pits, and the part that goes really left field is there's mutagen. So the whole premise of it is that they want to use mutagen and the Joker venom to mix together and rain on Gotham so everybody turns into mutants and destroys the city. It's fucking stupid. Is that how that was in the book?
I can't remember, but it sounds similar.
And like, of course, they free everybody from Arkham and they all become mutants. But if Poison Ivy becomes a tree, she can't move. She's stuck in the ground like with big like Little Shop of Horror hands. I was dumb. It's all Mr. Freeze becomes a polar bear, Joker becomes a snake, Harley becomes a hyena,
right?
Scarecrow becomes a crow, Bane becomes a gorilla or something. I can't remember. He was dumb. It was dumb too. So it was the kids enjoyed watching it, but I'm glad I didn't buy the book. If that's the book. So finished American Gods, and still don't know what the fuck's going on. Season 2. A little bit of what's going on, but it basically, do you know what a tulpa is? I think I've talked about this before, but you probably will forget. So it's a thought form or thought. So in some Buddhist beliefs, like if you sit there and meditate on like a little rabbit, like a little familiar, you can like manifest them, right? And there's been stories told of like Easterners, like, you know, there's been horror movies made of it too. Like you give something life, and people will start seeing it, but then like it starts wanting its own life. It might try to kill you, so you don't unthink about it, or some stupid shit like that. So it's just it's a trope that's been used in a lot of horror movies and sci-fi shit and whatnot. So basically, it seems that in this universe, when humans start praying to gods, they actually manifest to gods, and the gods get power. But they're not like, they didn't make humans. Humans made them. And if humans forget about them, they lose power. They die. They have physical bodies, and if they die while humans still believe in them, they come back a little bit different, but they're still that god. So it's interesting. It's kind of an interesting concept. It's a Neil Gaiman. So I want to keep on when the second season just ended. So it's probably another year. Man, my throat's really dry right now. And then the Game of Thrones. So it's fine.
Yeah.
You know, it seems to be 50-50. People like either I'm satisfied with it or they fucking hate it. They think it's weak. But my thing is like, actually, you know what? If you're a fan of the Starks, like the Starks win.
Yeah.
You know, Sansa becomes the queen of the North, which it's a separate country now, how they always wanted it to be.
Yep.
Bronn is analytical as fuck. He's probably flying around being a dragon right now. You know, that's what I would do if I was a fucking, and Jon never wanted to be king.
Yeah.
He never, and now he's with the free people, probably living life, fucking, fucking random wildlings.
Got what she wanted.
And she's a traveler. She's getting out of there. She's not, she's one of the guys.
Yeah, you
traveling.
can't lock her down.
That's right.
She's a free spirit.
And then of course, some people died not like the way they want them to die, but who fucking cares?
Well, and not only that, but I think that it was the right choice for a lot of those characters. I really honestly do. At the end of the day, like I think people don't realize that a lot of them had happy endings because they can't get over
the shock value of people dying.
No, they can't get over that the happy ending they wanted was not picked.
Ah, gotcha. Yeah, yeah. And it would be interesting though. And I had this conversation with my brother. I bet J.R.R. Martin does a totally wild different. If he was smart, he would do a totally wild different thing. And then the people who didn't like the show, like the real ending of Game of Thrones, that motherfucker would be a crazy bestseller.
Yeah. It can go on forever. Like in terms of like the debate.
Yeah. So, my purchases here. So recently, I've been having like a really I'm not interested in like my Games Workshop stuff, but I've kind of reached a plateau. I'm like, I don't need to buy anything else. I've got too much. I've got so much that I can't play with shit that I've had painted for months. You know what I mean? I can't work it in. I've got other armies that I got 3 or 4 armies I'm still working on that I haven't had a chance. So I have an army that I bought. I haven't even played with it yet. Just sitting now it's pretty and it's displaying well, despite you guys' fucking trash talking about my rotating case.
It's hard, man. It's because it's that vertical space.
It's not its final form. I have these little plastic stacker things, and they're gonna go in there. But I got to find where that case is gonna go because it's not. We just literally put it down there,
and it's like circular, isn't it? Like
it's
like
a hexagon.
Octagon,
yeah. So yeah, maybe it might be octagon. I think it's a hexagon. Doesn't matter. I want to start changing up some of my collecting. So I got after watching Endgame again, I was like, I got to get those Hot Toys. I saw that Cap came out, Hot Toys, and he had Mjolnir and the broken shield because it was kind of one of those things that wasn't previewed before. I'm like, fuck, Tony's gonna have the other gauntlet, the Nano Gauntlet, and I was like, I gotta have it. So it just kind of was one of those things. I was looking at when they were going to be released, and I was doing the math. Like, that's not that bad, man. Like one's like 2020, and one's like 2021. Like the projected whatever, and like so, and the Thor is like there's a list for the pre-orders, a wait list or whatever, and I think I got on it already. So
I've never had a wait list not work out.
Yeah, so I'm like, I really want that Thor. I've been coveting thy Thor.
Well, if they do a fat bearded Thor, I'll swap.
Well, I'm gonna get my own now.
If the wait list.
Oh, it doesn't work out.
Right.
Okay. Yeah. Okay. We'll work that out. But I ordered those, and then they have the Iron Factory giant Iron Factory statues. The
Iron Studios, right?
Iron Studios.
Right.
It
Yeah,
doesn't matter.
Iron Factory is like a third-party company.
Oh, is that right? Fucking Freudian slip. So those really look cool too, and that one's a fat Thor, but he's not that fat.
Yeah,
They had a profile.
I don't feel like he looked all that, like, because he doesn't look sloppy when he's geared up.
No, everything's being compressed.
Well, that and the fact is, like, he's not sweatpants and
The
sloppiest outfit you can have.
Yeah, you're right. So those look really good, man. But I don't need the Thanos.
No.
I don't need them at all. All their bases kind of come together.
Yeah, it looks great.
So I would get like a big ass matcha case and probably put that right dead center.
Yeah.
So Superman right now is going to go on he's going to be raised at the top of the case that I have him in right now instead of on the base. But yeah, bro, it is. It's I don't know, bro. I mean, it's like it's probably going to be $800 or maybe $1,000 for Tony. I don't know, and then $800 for Cap and $700 for Thor. So that's a grip. I mean,
yeah.
We're talking about $2,400-$2,500 depending on the final price plus shipping and tax and everything. But if it's one of those things where I'm paying $100 or so over the next year and a half, 2 years, and I'm not dropping that much. I drop that much on fucking Games Workshop shit all the time, and if I'm pulling back from that, it'll work in the budget,
right?
But it just gets to the point where it's like that movie now, those characters, and it's sad that it had to end, but at the same time, I'm like, dude, this needed to end. This, like, you got to grow up in this. You know what I mean? Like, you need to make way and come to, we hit the apex of it and come down and settle things. That makes it great. And I think that gives value to it. If it's something that keeps on going forever, like, we're never going to see Justice League 2.
Yeah.
We're not going to see that story. That story's done. It didn't get finished.
Yeah.
So we're not going to see Darkseid. And it's like, that sucks, man.
Yeah.
It sucks that they didn't do it right. And then, they're going to have to do a soft reboot or some shit, and it's just not going to be the same. And it's just not going to have that connective tissue like the MCU does.
Mm-hmm.
So, anyway, talk a little bit more. My throat clears up here.
I had some interesting stuff this nerd week. I've been watching Chernobyl.
I heard that was amazing.
Oh, dude, it's so good.
Really?
Yeah, it's enough to make you sick to your stomach. You know what I mean? Like just how. I mean, who knows what's dramatized?
Have they done the elephant foot yet? Mm-mm. Oh, that's so fuck. Do you know what that is?
Mm-mm.
All right. So it's this.
I thought you didn't want to talk. Take a minute.
I know, but now I'm excited.
Okay,
It's stuff. So it's like this. It's like this melted bubble up of like this metal. Like, I don't know if it's just uranium or whatever, but it's so radioactive.
The graphite.
Yeah, well, yeah. If it's so radioactive, if you look at it, you're dead because the charged particles. So like they have to like put a mirror up. They can't even shoot a camera in front of a melted camera. So you have to like have a camera near a mirror to get like the image of it. It looks fucking creepy. It looks like a giant elephant foot. Let me pull it up for you.
It's this firefighter, like when they start deploying like their equipment to start fighting this fire. This one firefighter like walks up on like a bundle of it.
Yeah.
And he like picks it up and he's like, I think this is graphite. And they're like, no, dude, shut up. Put it down. Like, whatever.
Yeah.
And he's like, I'm telling you, this is graphite. And they're like, no, they put it down. And then like his glove starts burning away. His hand starts burning away.
Oh, really?
Like, yeah.
Nice.
But it's very suspenseful and like watching the bureaucracy of it. In terms of decisions being made.
Because they're trying to cover it up.
Yeah,
right?
Well, I think everybody doesn't want it to be as much of a big deal as it actually is. Do you know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
Like, oh, the readings they're 3.6. That's not great, but it's not bad.
Yeah.
It's not a nightmare.
Yeah.
And then this one guy's like, hey, just as a heads up, that's where that meter taps out at.
Oh, wow.
3.6. We got to get better readings. So like they get better readings, and it's like whatever the fuck it is, and the guy's like. So to put this in perspective for you guys, because nobody wants to like really act like it's a real emergency, he's like, that's about the size of 40 Hiroshima bombs every hour.
Wow. That's crazy. Wow.
Like it's frustrating, man. Like
now, are there any time jumps in it where they're talking about modern times?
Not yet. No.
Okay. So
I'm 2
I wonder
episodes in.
because like what year is it?
When it's like when it happens. I don't know the exact year.
No, it's probably in this someplace.
But it's like watching these people tried to make decisions while playing it down instead of playing it up, and the amount of life that is carelessly
1986.
lost and thrown away.
That's crazy.
Because people don't want to act, don't want to get it done.
Yeah.
It's and not the people that are on the field, as it were.
Yeah.
Always is the case. But it's very good. I went to.
Let me read this about this. This photo is of the Chernobyl elephant foot, a solid mass made of little melted metal nuclear fuel mixed with lots and lots of concrete, sand, and core sealing material that the fuel has melted through. The photo was taken in 1996. At this point, the elephant foot had cooled enough that a human being could stand directly in front of it for an hour before receiving a lethal dose of radiation. When the foot was first discovered shortly after 1986 accident at the Chernobyl power plant, it delivered a lethal dose in just 5 minutes. That's cool. That's crazy. And a lethal dose of radiation, like you're dead,
Right.
Like, but you haven't died yet,
Right.
Like, but there's nothing we can stop. You're the living
Right.
dead. It's fucking crazy, man. God damn, that shit's scary.
I did cleaned up the backyard and stuff for Skullfest. So like,
Sweet.
power washed the steps. They look great. Like got all the algae and
Nice.
shit off of them. Power washed the sides in
Still
the
got
back
that
of the
power
house.
washer?
No, it's gone.
I gotta buy one, man.
Yeah. You either got to buy one or like know somebody that you can use it every year.
Yeah, I know, right?
Let's see what else. I had I went to JD and Chan's yesterday.
Oh, cool.
Dude,
Check out the castle.
their house is amazing.
I'm waiting for my invite.
Like it's crazy.
Really?
It's crazy. It's
better than Joe's house. Drop the gauntlet.
well, then that's like better than my house. it's better in some way. Like it's just old and like it's like how old houses are all cut up with like 1,000 rooms and
like my fucking house.
and like they have it like there's shit everywhere. Like
Their collection is nicely displayed everywhere, right?
yeah. Well, like yeah. But it's not displayed like this.
Okay.
It's I told him, I was like, dude, it feels like you're in a toy store.
Oh, cool.
Yeah, it's like it's a unique way to display your stuff. Like it's not the way most people choose to do it, but it really feels like I told him, I was like, and I didn't want them to take offense to it because I didn't mean it. I was trying to be
Bobby.
I was trying to be flattering, but like I was like, dude, the only thing that's missing is the price tags.
Okay.
Like like it's just like everywhere you look was like shit here, and it all looked like it belonged there. You know what I mean? But it was like it was wow, that made a big difference.
Yeah.
But it was just it was really well laid out, and
Nice.
like it was so like it was so much
Yeah.
that I was like, is this like your grandfather's workshop where like he knows where everything is, or do you not know what's where? And he was like, no, probably about 75%.
Really?
Like, not everything.
Where do they live?
Pennsylvania, some fucking where near Steel Mill. Surprise,
okay.
surprise.
Okay.
But it was like there was one room in the main floor that like kind of looks like this,
Okay.
like books and stuff, and it all looks like and then there's like this table in the middle that looks like
Billy's.
I told him, yeah, I think it is Billy's. I told him that it looks like you should be doing a seance at this table, like it has that kind of swag to it, like somebody's going to read your future.
I gotta see that castle. I haven't seen it in probably months since they've been working on it. That dungeon thing.
Oh yeah, so
is it done?
No, but I'll get there. So then you come out of that room, and that's pretty much the only real display room on the main floor. It's like where the kitchen is, and that. You go up to the second floor, and he has like a workshop where he does like a lot of custom stuff, some diorama stuff, and it looks like a proper workshop. There's like shit and tools and little trays full of bits and parts everywhere.
Yep. Bit life.
In his bedroom, there's like toys and shit. A fucked up ET stuffed animal is in there that talks. It's not okay. And then across from there is like a gaming room, but he has like that's where his Transformer collection are, and his 1/12 Star Wars stuff is.
Okay.
And a lot of the video game stuff like Mortal Kombat, Street Fighter, all that kind of bit of business. And then you go up to another floor, and that's where the castle is.
Okay.
He just has one floor of it built right now.
Yeah.
It's almost done, the first floor. And it's
dungeon.
the dungeon entryway. There's like a cave that like backs
Cave
up.
of Wonders. Oh, I forgot to talk about Aladdin.
Yeah,
All right, get back to that. Go ahead.
There's like a cave that backs up to the dungeon, and then he's starting on the second floor, and it's all magnetized so it can all be taken apart, but it's gonna be like built from like like it's about this tall, maybe a little shorter,
Yeah.
like up to the ceiling.
Oh, wow.
And just like this whole like multi-tiered leveled castle.
That's fucking awesome.
Yeah, it's pretty amazing. And he's got all these mythic legions in there. He's probably got 1,000 of them.
Oh,
Like,
really?
Yeah, it's like, dude, I didn't know there's this many. like 18 different reindeer people, 18 different like little like,
Reindeer
there you go,
people.
fucking antlers out of their head, like fucking rhinos and shit. And then he's got this other room up there that's just like there's like a Jabba's palace that's
Nice.
sitting in there, and like 1/12 scale Jabba's palace, and some just random shit. I took a couple photos. Let me see, because I did a
Because photos are great for podcasting too.
yeah, no, just to give you an
Fuck
idea,
with you guys.
But I just to do a cribs, like I shot a cribs.
They'll be on the
video.
Patreon. $10 a month.
So like that's his transformer display.
God damn, that's beautiful.
It's a lot of DTOFs and it's
Fuck.
a lot of lights, but that's his transformers display. It's 8 DTOFs and it goes all over the fucking.
Dude, I like
place.
that matrix in the center. That's fucking badass.
Yeah, it's clever. Let me see what else I can find.
So
on here.
is he one that'll get like one from a different set, and then if the new set comes out, he'll get that one as well, and just keep the old one?
That's the dungeon. I don't know. I like.
It's fucking awesome, dude.
It seems like he has a masterpiece collection, but there is like random pieces in there as well. Like he doesn't really display conceptually, which I got to admit, it's kind of fucking cool. Like you'll like he has this one thing, for instance, it's like a jewelry case.
Okay.
And you come up to it as soon as you reach the second floor.
Yeah.
And like inside the jewelry case is Lego Slave One, Castle Grayskull, something else, and then a King Kong standing on top. Like it's just random shit
Nice.
but it's so random and it's so random everywhere that it works.
Cool. I like it.
It's a very well thought out thing, and I think it was her idea. It was Chan's idea. Like he had it in like a couple rooms, and she was like, "This stuff's cool. Just spread it out all over the place."
Yeah.
And
That's
like,
awesome.
Yeah.
It's very cool.
So it was very nice, and I'm trying to think if I did anything else or saw anything else, and I'm not sure that I did. I want to say I saw another movie, but I could be mistaken because it's been a little tight time wise and getting prepping for Skullfest and all that kind of stuff.
So I took the girls to see Aladdin yesterday. Just the two younger ones.
How was it?
I wish I went and saw Brightburn. It wasn't a bad film. And I'm gonna be as fair as objective. First off, for me and my two younger daughters, it was $62 to go see this fucking movie.
On a matinee?
$62. Yeah, on a fucking 115 matinee. Now, it was the IMAX one because not the 3D, just the normal IMAX because that was the only time frame that we can make it in. We had a little cookout and everything. So they changed the story a great deal, and I knew they would have to because Aladdin met Jafar before the Cave of Wonders, and how does Jafar not recognize Aladdin or Aladdin not recognize Jafar later? You know what I mean? But see, I'm gonna talk about this, and I'm gonna be perceived to be an asshole. But I think that I'm narrowing in on my issue with like. Did you ever watch Will and Grace?
Mm-mm.
Okay, so Will and Grace was a show about
Gay people, right? It was like
well,
gay
there's a
couple.
guy like a gay guy and his best friend was a female, and like they kind of lived together. They kind of had this platonic love for each other, like living in New York. And she had like a crazy boss. She was an interior designer. I forget what Will did. And then there's Jack, who was really flamboyant and whatnot. So like that show came out in the late '90s. Lasted for several seasons. It's like the early 2000s.
It was pretty successful and
It was
kind
very
of
successful.
cutting edge for its time.
Exactly. But it did hypercharge a lot of things to like and I think it was a net positive for the gay community, right? But if you go back and watch it now, it's a little much. You know what I mean? It's like wow, this like people really
Like ironically, it might not be as appropriate now
yeah. I mean
because it's the stereotypes and
the same way you might watch a show like The Jeffersons, and you watch it
right,
nowadays,
right,
and you're
right.
like, "Ooh."
Yeah, it might be a little heavy-handed here, a little. Yeah.
So I think that a lot of the stuff that's going on now, like let me show you something real quick. This will prove my point on one level. Maybe more. Maybe like I don't get it. So my brother he sent me a picture of a screenshot for the advertisement for Hold on, it might be. This is not it. For Endgame, and it's very interesting that this is one that's in another country.
You know what's funny? Just as a everybody was worried about the genie in Aladdin.
Yeah.
You know what I was kind of most turned off by?
Uh-huh.
And maybe call it my misogyny, call it whatever you want to call it.
Yeah.
But the lack of exposed midriff. Like I like my Jasmine with an exposed
Well,
midriff.
we'll get to her. So that's the Endgame.
Uh-huh.
Interesting, right? Mm-hmm. So in this picture, it's like these two stone gates. There's like sky and everything behind, and then like in the foreground, it's like Cap with Hulk behind him. Hulk goes to the mid of the screen, and like Thor's to the right, and Iron Man's to the left. Above them, they're like huge. So you only like at the top of Thor's head is Captain Marvel's belly button, and she's like huge. She's like 20 times bigger than Hulk.
It's like two different pictures.
Yeah.
So the Cap and them are a smaller picture.
In the center.
Center,
they take up like all the men take up like an eighth of the center bottom, and then the rest of them is all the female characters above them.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like, like Gamora was barely in the movie. You know what I mean? Fucking Scarlet Witch was barely in the movie. Fucking
Captain Marvel was barely in the movie.
In the movie. Wasp was barely in the movie.
Yeah.
So it's just very interesting that it's the marketing. Now, again,
just to play devil's advocate to that for the
yeah.
sake of discussion.
Yeah.
Like they do. Is this in a foreign market?
I don't know.
Because they do
Doo-doo.
which
They
is
always
poop.
doo-doo.
Which is poop. That's what poop
I was
means.
listening to Dookie the other day.
Were you?
Yeah, it was good.
They do test
I listened to like 30 songs, took like 3 minutes.
and keep stats on different markets and what seems
Images and everything.
Yeah, so like, okay, this market responds more to women. Let's put more women in the marketing material.
Of course.
Yeah.
But it's very interesting. It's interesting. So, and what that woman's singing in the Avengers, and we can go back and have an Avenger conversation if you want interested. It does make sense. There's a lot of other things I'm picking up in that, and I'm fine with it. My girls like it. It's fine. All right. So first off, this movie Aladdin should have been called Jasmine. That should have been the title of it. And actually, if they made a just Jasmine movie and they did kind of, there's almost like a political aspect to this movie because like all the original songs are there. There's one new song, and the song is basically, I'm not going to shut my mouth. I'm not going to be quiet. I'm going to say what I want to say because I'm a woman, and it comes from Jasmine. And it's broken up like a few times.
Here's an interesting point for that. Is that needed in regard to, where that movie's taking place?
I mean, dude, I'll be honest with you. In the time frame, that culture, women could be landowners.
Yeah, no. I'm
I mean?
saying for today's audience. Do you know what I mean?
What do you mean?
Like, if they have places of that part of the world where women are definitely 100% oppressed to, you know what I mean? Like to say, like, in the rare chance that they would get to see this, like, look, at one point, it wasn't like this for you here.
Okay, maybe
just playing,
maybe
just giving it a discussion element to it.
But so, if I asked you, what is the moral of what is the moral of Aladdin? What's the lesson there? The cartoon.
I'd have to think about that movie. So the guy, he's a thief. He gets a genie, finds a genie lamp.
How does he get that? Why is Aladdin picked?
Did he steal the lamp?
No, he's the diamond in the rough.
I've only seen it one time.
Oh, really? You need to watch it. So the whole thing is like, only the diamond in the rough can enter the cave of wonders. That's kind of the premise. And like the thing about Aladdin, even though he's a thief, he's got a heart of gold. And when he steals the bread, the very first chase scene, that one jump ahead of the little man.
Yeah, another song.
So he's got the bread. He gives the monkey some bread, and then like there's a little kid there, like two little kids that are like dragging the trash and are hungry, and he gives them his bread.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's kind of sounds familiar.
And even though he's like, and he tells the genie like, "Hey, for my third wish, I'll just free you. I'll give that. Like that's the kind of duty is." So he's like, so the whole thing about the story is like, it's like kind of like don't judge a book by the cover.
Okay.
Where you come from doesn't mean that's going to dictate where you go.
Okay.
In life, and that's it. Like there's more on the inside to him than what was on the outside, and that's kind of the point of Aladdin. That's that trope. I feel like I've said that word.
Yeah, you've been heavy on the trope.
I know.
The trope has kind of been your trope today.
I've been troping today. It's all relevant. Anyway, and so it's still there. in the story, but the story is much more Jasmine focused. And the thing about Jasmine, I think in the cartoon, I don't think that she was a weak-willed woman. I don't think that she was a princess. It's she wasn't a Snow White.
I remember her like
distress.
arguing, rebelling from her father
very
and stuff
early
like
on.
that.
I mean, she snuck out of the palace. And the funny thing is like in the cartoon, the very first scene. And there's gonna be some spoilers here, but I think I need to explain this to get to the point. The very first scene, she basically, dismisses a prince suitor, and like he storms out, and like she's being very defiant for her father, and she's like, "Listen, I don't want to get married to this princess. I want to go out,
live my best life."
Yeah, you're not allowed out of the castle,
Dude, Jasmine was trying to get outside.
Yeah.
Whoa. Childhood ruined.
No outside of the land.
She was trying to get outside.
No outside.
Jasmine's outside. That's a new hashtag.
Well, in this, the show, it starts off with her being outside. There's no conflict. There's no conflict with her not being able to escape. The palace. I've never been out of the palace before. And she has her first interaction with Aladdin, which is very similar, but she's not revealed to be the princess like she is in the cartoon until later. So it just like I kind of feel like it doesn't work. Jasmine, Jasmine was very confrontational to Jafar. She didn't want to listen to him. She wanted to take care of her people. So the character in the cartoon, I don't think they ever had to alter the spirit of that character. But now they've kind of muddied the focus of this film. This film is no longer about, there's more to me than I'm more to a person than what's on the outside. Now it's like, oh, I've been told to shut up, and I'm going to speak up and say my piece and whatever. And there's this really strange sequence where they do it. Like Jafar has taken power of the lamp, and she's had this little song, throughout. I think there's 2 or 3 parts of it, right? You're right.
My bag is fucking.
Oh. And finally, the guards are removing her, and like she starts singing, and then like the guards disappear, and you're like, what the fuck just happened? And then like she keeps on singing like the other. It's like in the big conflict. And to disappear, and she's like, she's like back to Jafar, and like she's like walked out the door, she's like across the palace, and then like it snaps back, and she's back over there, and she starts talking to the guard, and then it gets to be like, we'll never bow to you as a sultan. It's like, well, then make me the sorcerer. That's like the whole thing. So it was more. She was almost more the main character of the film than Aladdin was, and so there's kind of this like whose story are we telling here? And not that you can't tell
both
stories. It just it felt forced. Like this isn't the right. Like I would have been more interested in them to just do a version of her before Aladdin.
Just a Jasmine movie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they could have still mixed in that other part. I don't know. That's just
So what would you give it out of 10?
I don't know, man. Like Will Smith he wasn't bad. He had his own love interest in the film as well, like which was interesting take. And there's some big changes.
The tiger.
Yes. Raja was a chick. Actually, Raja was bad fucking ass.
Kelly can be a boy's name too.
That's right. Hey. So the handmaiden, like her little assistant or whatever, it's kind of her love interest, his love interest. So I like it. All right. So first off, there was no dedication to Robin Williams, which I felt was like, I get it.
It's like a little bit low class.
Yeah, I get it.
Move.
He committed suicide. It sucks. He did have there was a debilitating disease that he would have to go through and whatnot, and he made a choice. And at some level, I'm not I don't think suicide is the answer. But sometimes there's certain situations where like, oh, we can have a conversation about this.
Yeah, and I mean it's like.
And there's some people that there's like right to die people.
Right.
You know what
I mean, I feel that way.
Yeah.
Like if
it depends. Like there's some people.
Sure,
like,
there's definitely nuance. Like if you're 16 and you got the blues, let's talk about it.
We talked about this before.
Yeah, but you're a fucking adult and you're done. Dude. I mean, he's given enough.
So Will Smith's.
At the very least, I don't think we should fucking judge the man. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. So there's no dedication to Robin Williams. Will Smith's genie. As much as Robin Williams' genie was Robin Williams, Will Smith's genie was Will Smith.
Okay.
So, like, I'm conceptually okay with that.
And it's better than doing an imitation.
Yes,
you can never match.
Yes, I agree. So, I can respect, the way they went with that, like the choices they made, because they're kind of in a rock and a hard place. It almost comes back to like, does this movie need to be made? You know, and I'm going to come back to that idea. So, but instead of like, you know, Robin Williams is kind of doing like these little joke gags the whole time. Like the genie was kind of like working out. There's like several things, like he's like pumping iron, like, and like he would stop and it would float there, like little gag like that. But like he was like swole as fuck, and like sometimes when he gets like animated, he gets like swoller and swoller. I mean, like it's fucking stupid,
Right.
And like I get it, and like he did kind of have the bobblehead type CGI issues at times. It worked, you know. There was, but there's almost like too much going on. Like the mist bottom half of him was like a storm that was constantly churning with different lights. It was almost distracting. It's like it's too animated. Like, if it was just misty smoke, it's like a lightning storm, magical sprinkles and shit, like constantly turning. It was weird. And then he had like these runes, like these things on his arms that would glow like gold and shit, and the bracelets were a little much. So his character design was fair. It was good. There were some interesting artistic choices. It was good. He was funny, like he was charming, as one would expect. There's like that little part where he's like, well, what about you? Can you like change? Like he like turned into like a human over here, a human over there, but he was still blue. And he's like, well, you're still blue. And he turns into Will Smith. But he's still got the top knot. He's like, you need to keep the top. He's like, that's kind of my thing. It's kind of my little thing, you know. Some of the gags that they recycled, like the phenomenal cosmic powers, itty bitty living space. They should have got rid of it. You know, they shouldn't try to repeat that. But my question is does this movie need to be made?
That's a slippery slope of questioning.
It is. Like Jasmine was almost perfect. You know, with the exception that she had
midriff.
No, actually, there's part that she had midriff.
I'm just kidding.
I think. I don't know.
I just feel like it's like an iconic character thing.
I gotta see what else that girl was in because she looked familiar. She's a beautiful girl.
Yeah.
And she did a good job. And so my complaints about her storyline aren't on the actress or even the story. It is like I said before. It felt like there's a competition between her and Aladdin, like to who was the main character. You know, and maybe there can be two main characters. I don't know. The word main character means there's usually one to me, but you know, call me old fashioned. So Jafar was kind of whack, and Jafar's a cool bad guy.
Who played him?
I don't know, some dude that didn't feel like Jafar.
How long was his chin?
It wasn't long at all. Weak ass chin. Weak ass chin. He had like he didn't have the turban wasn't right. He wasn't like gangly enough.
Yeah.
He wasn't old. He was too young. He's like an evil Aladdin, and then even when he turned into a genie at the end, like he didn't feel right. I'm like, dude, like, this is the time you can go nuts with him. Give him long ass chin, bro.
Yeah.
He was just painted red. The Sultan was kind of trash. The Aladdin was okay. So I don't know, man. I give it a 6.5.
Wow.
Yeah. The songs were recognizable, but not as good. You know. I'm really losing my voice now. God damn it.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't
Talk
know.
amongst yourselves.
I haven't seen. Like I said, the only remakes I've seen was Beauty and the Beast and.
You see the Cinderella one?
Nope.
I didn't see that one.
I saw Beauty and the Beast and I saw Jungle Book. I loved Jungle Book.
Jungle Book was better. So
I did not care for Beauty and the Beast.
So I would say the ones because I haven't seen the Cinderella one. I would say,
you know what? I like the animal ones better anyway.
Yeah.
You know, like
it looks like Lion King's gonna be better. I would say Jungle Book is first. Beauty and the Beast is second, and this is third, from what I've seen this far.
Copy that. I'm sure I'll see it at some point. I don't know. Like I feel like Jungle Book also is like.
I think it's an easier mark to hit.
Yeah, I think it's an easier mark to hit, but I also think like there's more story to tell there than just the Disney story. You know, like
there's a whole Netflix series, Mowgli.
Exactly,
and really good.
And I mean the Kipling book is different, and like you know, there's just more story to tell. Like. My problem with some of these Disney remakes is not necessarily that they're remakes, but that it is what Todd McFarlane was warning us about. You know, telling the same story again. Like I'd prefer something different.
Iago was kind of cool.
Yeah,
he wasn't Guilford Godfrey. Obviously, he was still a bird, but he talked.
Was the carpet up and up?
Oh, Carpet's awesome.
Okay.
And the other thing is, this is a Guy Ritchie film,
which is crazy.
Yeah, which is fucking wild.
You know what? Sometimes I don't want to see Martin Scorsese do. A Star Wars movie. Do you know what I'm saying?
Really?
No. Well, okay, wait. Let me put a caveat on that.
Yeah.
a saga movie.
Okay, you want to see Han Solo 2 with him,
I would definitely see
or a
Han
Jabba
Solo-
the Hutt movie.
Correct.
Yeah.
But I don't like just because you're really good at one thing doesn't mean I want you to do something completely different. Like, and it's not that I want to stunt your creativity either. Like, Gangs of New York, way different than Goodfellas.
Yeah.
But it still feels like something that's in his pocket.
No, you're right. You're right. And like the fact that this was a musical, it's funny. So one of my coworkers, she took her son to see it, and she's like, "Hey, did you like Aladdin?" And I was like, she's like, it was long, but that's like always her go-to. Like she doesn't have like you know what I'm saying?
No real opinion.
Yeah, no, but like it's always what she says. It's long and boring. She's like, I didn't know it was gonna be a musical. I was like, really? She's like, no, I didn't like it. I don't like musicals. I'm like, oh, the musical. It is hard in the musical aspect to get it right because they're so used to it. Like they changed up some of the lyrics and everything. You're like, that's not what you're supposed to say. Don't you fucking never had a friend like me? Don't you fuck that up, motherfucker?
And I think that musicals are more easy to digest in an animated form.
Yeah. I'm curious. I'm almost curious to buy Aladdin like on Blu-ray or whatever for the director's commentary and see how much involvement Robin Williams had in the writing of the music or the songs or the because
the old
one because
we might have it
because he's such an integral part of that. Like his personality comes through so much in that film.
Yeah.
Like I wonder
how much was ad-libbed.
Yeah,
probably a ton.
Yeah. But then they had the animated process back then was so fucking long.
Yeah, but they would do his vocals first.
Oh, okay.
Because they had to do the.
Oh yeah. Maybe. I don't know.
So we were talking upstairs briefly about it, and I was saying how like I think
I had
that
to get something hot to drink for my throat.
which is not what you said initially. I think that I was saying how like I think if you have like this animated movie about these jungle animals and there's a panther.
How about forest animals? Can we have forest animals?
Well, hopefully I'll get there.
I see you did there.
But and you had this like this panther and his name's Bagheera, but the bear calls him Baggy because it's good fun.
Yeah.
And the bear's he's picking a pawpaw and a prickly pear.
Yeah.
And like when you see the cartoon version of it, you're like, okay, cartoon friends doing cartoon shit, I get it. And then when you see it in real life with like a CGI bear or whatever, like it's like fuck,
real,
like
it's
this or whatever. You know what I'm saying? Like it'd be like fuck, like this.
That looks cool.
This looks fucking cool,
Yeah,
and this is crazy to see. Like that leap is huge. But I don't feel like the leap is as huge with like Cinderella or even Beauty and the Beast, and this one to a lesser extent.
Yeah.
But like it's not enough new to really garner my attention. Like I if they do forest animals with bows and arrows, I'll be there opening night.
And floating spirits. Yeah, I hear you, man. That'd be tight. More anamorphic type.
I would love that.
Yeah.
You know, like. Fucking dude, like alms for the poor.
Do you feel like you kind of got a little bit of that with Rocket?
Oh, yeah,
a little bit.
yeah,
and like that's kind of a cool. And he is a cool character.
Yeah. Like
I'm with that.
I thought you were getting ready to say with Kevin Costner. Like, no, pack your things, sir.
Yeah, come on, man. Robin Hood Men in Tights. I mean, Prince of Thieves was great.
Either or is fine. But like, I you know, the beginning of Prince of Thieves fucked me up as a kid.
Oh, yeah.
They're cutting off the dude's hand and shit.
Yeah.
I was like, oh.
Yeah.
Like, oh, these are not my forest friends.
No, they're not. No, they are not. So I did hear some rumors about Guardians of the Galaxy.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah. So Rocket's creator is going to probably be the main villain. Mm-hmm. And apparently there's rumors that Mark Hamill is in talks for that.
Oh, really?
Yeah, which I think would be pretty cool.
Oh, that's Laura.
She can be live on the show.
Hello?
Hey, did she
real quick, you're live on Nerd Rage.
really this early?
Yeah, we got an early show today.
Hello.
Oh, well, I was calling to see how potty training went.
So
Daddy potty training.
Did she poop on Dora?
So here's a fun story. So she's
perfect timing.
She didn't want to wear a diaper today for whatever reason. Like didn't want to wear a diaper. So she came down. She said, I don't want to wear.
Well, I'll tell you why I think it is because I told her she can't sleep in her big girl bed until she wears big girl underwear.
Oh, a little positive reinforcement.
Yeah.
Babies with their diapers have to sleep in the baby bed, and big girls with underwear have to sleep in the big girl bed.
I like it.
Oh.
So she was like, Laura pulled out this diaper and we had Mickey Mouse on it.
Yeah.
And she's like, no, Mickey. No, Mickey. I go get ducks. There's like one duck. She like went and got the...
When you can pick the animal on your diaper, it's time not to wear a diaper.
Yeah, no shit. So she went and got the duck one. So we went and we had to take a car in for an oil change. It doesn't matter. We get back. Laura goes to work. And
Did you use synthetic?
so the baby says, "I go night night," and I was like, "Oh, you ready?" She's like, "Yes." So cool. Get your milk. Let's get your shit. Let's go. Take her upstairs. I go to change her diaper before I put her down.
Yeah.
She didn't have a diaper on.
Oh.
She doesn't have it on. She's just free balling in a little in a little pair of shorts. And I was like, "Where's your diaper?" I said, "I don't know."
Mystery to me.
And so like she
The diaper gnomes.
and the shorts were dry.
Nice.
So we might be I'm
Now,
getting closer
did you
and
make her
closer.
go potty before she went to bed?
I'm getting closer and closer to have cleaned my last shit,
Yeah.
which I can't wait for.
Well,
Yeah, you and me both.
Yeah.
Maybe.
All right, but you definitely put her in a diaper for
100% I put her in a diaper for bed.
Okay. All right. Well, I should see you around 5.
Okay.
All right. Yeah.
See ya. So yeah, that's been another little bit of exciting stuff going on around the
Nice.
house too, I
You
suppose.
poop on Dora.
I
Make Dora cry.
oh well, yeah, that's still classic.
We were talking about it the other day.
I did get to tighten up the basement.
Yeah, it was great.
Finally,
Yeah, a little bit of fucking pigsty recently.
Yeah. There was a fucked up thing I was telling Adam. Like, the first step I took to like kind of re-envisioning the basement was a new piece of furniture. In order to get that new piece of furniture, I needed to take apart the 40K table.
Yeah.
So the mess began.
Yep.
Right. Get the piece of furniture. As soon as we get the piece of furniture, I'm like, I need this glass case for this Transformer thing. I can't bear to look at this anymore. Get the glass case. Packaging, wrapping.
bare necessities.
I got the one glass case, and then that had to go back.
Yep.
So I had to keep the boxes for that.
Yeah.
Like this whole shit. Then we got that in place. I'm like, I need to light this whole thing now because I need to view. So then we pulled everything out, lit everything, clipped little wire pieces all over the fucking floor.
Are you happy with that now?
Yes. I'll get back to that in a second. But then the next thing I was like, well, we got these tables too, so we start working on dioramas. So we get all of that done.
Yeah.
And then Joe is like, I need a place to store some shit.
Yep.
So then Joe starts storing his shit. So like every time I got something done, something else would pop up to create a mess. So like once the process started, it had never really been put back together again. And I finally got to put it back together. I'm like, okay, it's not right.
Yeah.
But we're getting there.
Yeah.
I see it now. Like
Did you get rid of any of your billies?
no. So we had 3 little ones, right?
Yeah.
And it was kind of up to Laura what she wanted to do with them. We put them in the mud room.
Oh, okay.
Dude, it has changed our lives.
Nice.
Like, we have plenty of extra shelves for like dioramas and stuff because we had 3 3/4 over like 2 of them. So like we had tons of extra shelves. So like we've positioned them all. So like every kid's shoes has like a little shelf, and there's a shelf for my backpack, a shelf for Laura's purse, a shelf for all the kids' backpacks. Like
Marie Kondo would be so proud.
Dude, it has been a game changer. It has been a game changer.
Nice.
And then we have like the little skinny one, and we put like wasp spray and shit on that. Like, like, dude, it's so good.
Fucking wasps.
Yeah. And I'm trying to think if there's anything else. Oh, so am I 100% satisfied with that setup? No. I don't know what is going to do it for me, but it's
Which setup?
the Transformer Marvel Legends corner.
Gotcha.
But I'm closer.
Yeah.
Like, like I feel like it's like a piece of clay, you know what I mean? And I keep sculpting at it and I keep sculpting at it, and I'm like, okay, I'm starting to see a face. I just need to stay at this. So not too much on the brow. Not too much on the brow.
Do you feel a value into like trimming the fat of certain display areas?
Well, yes. And I'm going to do it, I think, with my Marvel Legends as well.
Okay.
Like when we did it with the Transformers, and like we're just like, look, if it's not good enough.
Dude, let me tell you something, man. I'm so glad that Joe and I, like, because that was after podcast day, we were walking by, and Joe and I, which we don't normally do, we started taking shit off. And you're like, I was like, what about this? Do you need this up here? And we started throwing stuff on the table. And I think that got you in a good mindset, because I think that was the straw.
It was the Band-Aid being ripped off.
And then you just fucking unloaded, and like, dude, I'm like, damn, I need to do that shit too.
Yeah, like, and I need it. I would have never done it without you two there. Never. Never in a million years, you know?
You're welcome. So.
Yeah, thank you. And it was a matter of, like, because you were like, you don't need this shit. Like, you're like, who is this guy? You don't even know his name. Like, it's Smokescreen. I do know his name. You're like, you don't need him. You're like, you were taking.
It wasn't Smokescreen.
But whatever. You were taking like a lot of shit off,
Yeah.
And then I was like, no, I can't live without that. And then it got to like, well, what can't you live without? It's like, okay, well, I need this.
Yep.
And then once it found, it went, like it was like the Band-Aid just snatched off.
Yeah,
it was like,
that's
whoa, it's still bleeding. and you know what I mean?
It's a paper cut, Bobby.
And then as we started putting, just a couple more pieces back, a couple more pieces off, and finding then like the blood started to clot.
Yep.
And then it kind of got into a better place, and I started to realize like it's not about having them all. It's about what I have being right.
Yep. Yeah.
And
dude, like, I mean, that's something I'm trying to do with myself. I can't fucking unload. There's a bunch of 40K shit I can't unload. Like motherfuckers. Yeah, man, I'm interested. Let me just wait till Friday to get my paycheck, and then they fucking that shit, dude. Like, listen, motherfucker, if you don't have the money, if you got to wait till Friday for a paycheck, you shouldn't be in the fucking hobby.
Yeah, so that came up with Did I ever tell you about the commission? I mean, I've told the story 1,000 times, but it's like it was the most outlandish commission I've ever received.
No,
homeboy hits me up,
and
says, "Hey, man, I need something done." It's like, I'm your man. What do you need? He's like, something Transformers. And I'm like, I'm on it. What do you need? We're on the same page. Because a lot of times people hit me up and be like, well, my kid's bare. I'm like, yeah, I can do that, but fuck.
Yeah.
I got you. What do you need? Okay, I want all the combiners, all the city bots, having a major battle in the desert. And I want it on 24 by 36. I'm like, fuck. Okay, we can do this. I got to work out the price for this because this is a lot of shit. And he was like, okay, well, what's the price for the print? And I was like, well, the print is going to be like, I won't charge you anything for the print because the commission is going to be so huge.
Yeah.
So the print would just be whatever it costs to have it print tacked onto the principal. So around about like, probably I think at the time it was like $28.
Yeah.
And he was like, all of that for $28? Awesome. Give me a couple weeks. Let me put some money together and we'll make this happen. And I was like, wait a minute. I don't think you understand what I just said. Like the commission is probably going to be at minimum $500.
Yeah.
And then the print
Yeah.
will be $20. But I didn't even explain all that to him. I was just like, you know what, buddy? That doesn't account for the work.
Yeah.
I don't think you're in a place to get this done right now.
Yeah.
But let me know when you are.
You gotta put the $28 together.
Yeah, you got to put the $28 together.
Yeah.
Like just do some living first. Get some living under your belt, and then we'll. Yeah.
Yeah, man. That would be.
And it's I mean, whatever. It's a cost of doing business, right? Like how often do you walk into a furniture store and look around for an hour and then say, I don't want any of this shit, and walk out,
Yeah.
But it is like, if I could have got to the nuts and bolts of that conversation a little faster, it would have been a much shorter conversation.
Yeah.
But it's all good. But it made for a good story. You know what I mean?
Fuck yeah, dude.
I'm trying to think if there's anything else.
Crying. I would have paid $500. No, man. I mean, what do we got on news wise? Probably a slow news day.
It is a slow news week. There's
Oh, and anyway, let me get back to that. So Mark Hamill, Guardians of the Galaxy before Laura called.
Oh yeah.
So the creator's gonna be Rocket's creator.
That'd be interesting.
And
an interesting chapter to kind of explore.
Yeah. I'm sure they'll be, on the search for Gamora.
And it's something they've hinted at, like in the past.
And everybody else had so you had Gamora had her daddy issue episode. Star-Lord had his daddy episode. Yep. Fathers are a big theme in that thing.
Yeah.
So this would be Rocket's turn. And I think Rocket, the cool thing about the dynamic now is Rocket's been around for 5 years that they haven't been. So he's like, to them, he's had to mourn them for 5 years. And actually that does remind me, I want to go back to that about the world. Like somebody was asking some interesting question, like what happened to the people who get snapped back who were in airplanes?
Yeah.
Or think about the people who were like in the middle of getting surgery done by their surgeon. The surgeon disappears. You know what I mean?
I think we got a question or a comment
or
about
families
that.
Or people.
But I don't think.
And I brought that up too. Like your wife died 5 years ago. You find somebody else. You marry somebody else. If you do,
yeah. But my view on that is that they're not going to spend a whole lot of time addressing any of that. Like they might do it passively in some conversation, but like they're not gonna. They're gonna push forward.
That would be there's a show. Oh man, what was it called? I think it was called like The Happening, or no, that's not it. That's that movie with what's his face?
Shyamalan.
Yeah. So in this world, I can't remember what it was, but like one day everybody passes out, and they go to like 5 years in the future, and they're all looking like, what the fuck? And it happens to everybody.
Was it on HBO?
No.
Okay.
And then they go back, right? And then they all remember that like that leap, and everybody remembers. Everybody there. Certain people don't have any memory of it. They passed out. They don't even remember because they died between now and the 5 years. And it's like the world like trying to figure out what happened and why, and like so that kind of concept in like a show like this would be like a Disney Plus, like the like what if there's like a drama about the happening, the events around that.
Yeah, it would be better to explore, I think, that kind of stuff in the TV shows anyway.
Yeah, absolutely. But I'm eager, and if Thor's gonna be in fucking Guardians of the Galaxy, and they call it like Guardians of the Galaxy as Guardians of the Galaxy, that would be fucking dope. That'd be fucking dope.
Do you still want it to be Volume 3?
Yeah. I think the marketing should be Guardians of the Galaxy, but like there's just the line through like the guard or Asgard is like written
like over top, like in red marker.
Yeah. I think that would be fucking dope. It's still gonna be Volume 3.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So this is interesting, and I put the note in as at last. Sony PS5 will support cross-generation play.
Oh, it's like PS1, 2, 3, 4, 5.
Yeah.
Cool. I mean, they did that for PS2.
Yeah.
So, like, how far do they go backwards, though? They have PS1 emulators and shit?
I don't know. I'm trying to
They
find
probably
them.
will have PS4. That will make sense.
Click the button. Yeah, I'm trying to see, like, if...
I'll tell you that the console sticking around is not going to be very long. It's all going to be networked here soon.
Yeah, and on top of that,
You
like...
just have a controller.
I do think with how quickly the turnarounds kind of are now, where it's like every 3 years, it seems like you spend a lot of money on this shit and a lot of money in these games, and like you need to be, if you really enjoy the game.
Yeah, imagine if you just buy a controller with a plug into your TV and that's it, and then everything's on a network.
Yeah.
Now you need to have a really good speed network, but like that way, as the technology improves and the graphics improve, it's just seamless for you.
It looks like only PS4 is all they've mentioned right now.
That's kind of trash. Well, most of the PS3 games, I think you can get on the PlayStation Network and you can download them and play them.
Gotcha.
So,
Ghostbustin in the Past.
yeah.
Dan Aykroyd reveals plans for 60s high school prequel. Aykroyd revealed he discussed the project with Reitman.
Now, this isn't Ghostbusters 3. This is a whole other project?
Correct.
Okay.
I'm
in.
Yeah, Dan Aykroyd has plans to end it all with a 1960s prequel following the adventures of Peter Venkman, Egon Spengler, and Ray Stantz in high school.
I'm in.
Yeah.
I'm in.
Yeah, although I've written Ghostbusters High, where they meet in New Jersey in 1969, and we're looking to do that as probably a glorified feature or pilot within the next maybe 5 years, and it would lead to a television project that I thought of him immediately for that.
The only problem is that they have to retcon some stuff because they didn't really have any ghost experiences until the events of, number one.
Way down, though, we have had other stuff after the Jason Reitman Helm movie. We have at least one or two other concepts for the Ghostbusters, and then we'll look at doing the prequel, which would be the perfect button on all we've done up to that point.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm on board. Moving on up, Hasbro is establishing a fully fledged theatrical production studio for animation.
Oh, wow.
Which they probably should have done 10 years ago.
Yeah.
But I think that
is that Allspark Productions?
That's going to be the name of the company.
Yeah.
But they're actually, like, they're not going to be contracting it. Like, they're going to have their own studio, like a Disney or a Warner Brothers.
Interesting.
I think...
and then Disney will buy it.
Yeah. But I think that will give them the kind of power to get shit done. If their fandoms will support it. But I mean, think about like the animated, like in this market right now, with the kind of Marvel cinema reign, the DC home video reign. If they were to do, for the adult sensibility, like Transformers straight to DVD, G.I. Joe straight to DVD, stuff like I think they make a killing.
They would. I think that's pretty good. And then you don't have to worry about.
They could do Mask. They could do. I mean, they could do whatever they want. Visionaries, I think, is theirs.
Wasn't ROM supposed to be part of the ROM? Mask
Yeah, they were going to do some like
connected universe.
But I don't know, that's when everybody was like, "It works for Marvel." Like the Dark Universe.
I still wish they did the Universal Dark Universe shit. I'm still hoping for that one.
It is finished. Jessica Jones teaser.
Yeah, fucking care. It's trash. It's a stupid ass teaser.
Their marketing is trash generally.
Yes, I mean their Netflix is there's a lot of.
I just read some article. They were like, they might be in some serious trouble.
When this Disney Plus comes out.
It was actually interesting. The some things that they made that might be a worthwhile discussion topic, but they were saying how like carrying content is not the wave of the future anymore. It's creating content.
Yes.
So Netflix has been creating content
for a while,
but they were saying how like they're like a lot of their frontier stuff is all other people's shit.
Yeah,
and everybody like these like it's so interesting to watch, but like the sociological aspects and the business aspects of it, like it's becoming all about ownership, who owns what and who can use what. But so like we see it more on YouTube now, where you get flagged left and right for like little things that you could have got away with back in the day.
Yeah,
we see it now with the streaming services. Like, nah, I don't want you streaming my shit anymore. I can stream my shit and make a quarter instead of the dime off of your quarter.
Yeah.
You know, it's just interesting to watch it all play out.
See, the interesting thing about that, though, there's going to be a saturation point because people aren't going to want to have 15 different subscription services.
I agree.
You know?
I agree. I think that what we might end up seeing is like, bundle deals. Like bundle packages,
maybe,
like a third-party company offering.
I think if they're not careful, though, people are just going to pirate that shit.
Yeah.
Because pirating is going to be more prolific.
Yeah, I mean, I guess pirating is probably an issue now for like people that use all the torrents and all the sticks.
Absolutely, absolutely.
But like a guy like me, like I don't know shit about that stuff. Like, if somebody handed me a thumb drive, I'd fucking plug it into my Walkman. I'd be like, "What are you doing?"
I mean, like, what if the user interface is so easy that you can buy a Fire Stick for $80, and then you can watch a YouTube video that goes to like 10 steps and doing it and automatically updates itself.
Right,
you'll be fucking done. Oh,
yeah.
I'm getting TV for free from now on.
That self-updating is a big
bandwidth.
It's a big deal. That's a big deal for me because like I had that Spider-Man game on the PS4. One of the main reasons I haven't played it is because I don't want to sit through the hour it's going to take to update my system to fucking put it in.
Yeah, it is a problem.
Like it
happened the other day. I played Red Dead Redemption 2. 5 minutes in, I'm like done. I'm like, I don't want to do this.
Like, it shouldn't be such a chore to play a fucking video game. Like, it fucking drives me nuts.
Yeah.
But yeah, I read like it was some article that was posted recently. It was like
they're projecting
Netflix has 175 days to get their shit together.
Oh wow.
All right, so then we have some Star Wars stuff. Should we do the questions first?
Let's do the questions first.
Okay, so that we did get a couple questions, and I've tried to keep track of them all. The best way to send us questions...
You need to go back to the last rapid fire so I can do mine.
The best way to send us questions is through nerdrageradiomail@gmail.com. That is the best way to do it.
And it's the longest email address we can find.
Yes, we tried to add in 1, 2, 3. It literally said we could not do it.
Yeah.
So this is from Darren, and we actually dropped the ball on this. He had hit us up on the Facebook page a while back, and we just hadn't got to it. So I apologize, Darren. He said, "Hey guys, got a question, and I'd like to hear your thoughts if you've got the time." Was talking with a friend about Punisher Season 2 villain, and he was giving me crap because I don't really care about the idea. After reflecting on why I didn't really care for the idea, I came to the conclusion that honestly, I'm just kind of tired of religious, sometimes even cult leader archetypes. Oh, he did send this. We did cover this.
Old.
Yeah, we did cover this.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay, so he had another one. Hey, gents. Just wanted to say thanks for all you do. My daughter was born this past Monday and had to be placed in the NICU of a children's hospital the next day due to a blood sugar issue. My wife had to stay at the postpartum unit of the neighboring hospital, so I stayed with our daughter for a few nights while my stepsister stayed with my wife. While there, I realized NICU units in the middle of the night are by far the most depressing places I've ever been. Yeah. Listening to old episodes of the podcast really helped keep my spirits up, and my daughter seemed to enjoy listening to. I really just, your daughter's going to have like the foulest mouth in the fucking planet. I really just, and most fucked up sense of humor. I really just, again, wanted to say thanks so much for all the work you all do on the podcast. It really helped me keep my spirits up. I'm trying to, because I had to do screenshots. Mm-hmm. Keep my spirits up while I'm turning old, soft, and trash. I'm happy to say my daughter got to come home on Thursday and is doing great. Let's make some noise for that. Goddamn.
Congratulations. Bro, that NICU shit.
Oh my god, dude.
Yeah, that was the worst.
You had one, right? And I had one.
Yeah. Oh my god. Which one was
Jaina?
Jaina. Okay. Yeah.
She had the shit, the baby shit that she had inhaled. Like because she shat in the. Yeah. I'm happy to say
so stressful.
Her name is Azriel. Or Azriel?
How you spell it?
Azriel.
Yeah, that sounds about right. That's real.
Renee, and I do believe she may be your youngest fan at just 6 days old. Anyways, keep up the good work. It really more than just a podcast about grown men arguing. It helped me.
We've been really well this recently.
It helped me get through the hardest thing I've ever been through. Thanks again. I figured Adam would also like to know I built my first box of Space Wolves in that room too. Blood Claws.
Nice.
Yeah, that's
now we
awesome,
know you're raising her right.
That's an awesome thing to kind of receive. We're happy to be any kind of part of that whatsoever. And I'm glad to hear that she's doing well, and hope your wife is doing well as well. I feel like we got another thing through Patreon. Here's an email we got real quick while I try to find that other one. Hi, team. I've been listening to another podcast about Endgame, and I was interested in their spin on what happened when they snap return after 5 years. So what happened to the people who lost their families to the snap and moved on and started a new family, people who were on planes during the snap? Iron Man is displayed as a hero, the new Spider-Man, plus Iron Man is displayed as the hero, the new Spider-Man, but is that true? The only reason for the 5-year gap remain between snaps is because of Tony not wanting to lose his daughter.
It's not necessarily true, but
though how many people actually died post-snap because of the pilot, surgeon, train driver, train flyer, etc., vanished, or people ending their lives because, like Hawkeye, the whole family disappeared? I realize this is extremely overthinking this stuff, but that is what us nerds do, and would be interested in your thoughts on these perspectives.
I yeah, I mean, like the Tony bit, like with his daughter and everything, they kind of hinted in Infinity War that she was pregnant. You know what I mean? Like when he's going into space, she's, so I think that I've talked about this before. I thought it'd be more interesting if he had to snap and go back in time and like he lost his daughter, because that would have mirrored him and Thanos. And then Thanos and basically we're not so different, Stark. But yeah, I am curious of what that world looks like now, because there's real consequences in that world from these films, and it's like, Marvel in the comic books, like everything goes back to normal after the next day, which is kind of trash, and so I'd be interested to see what that world looks like.
For me, I'm interested as well, but I disagree. Obviously, what you're saying is true, that there are real world consequences. I don't think they're ever going to really spend any time on it. So I don't. That's part of the reason why I feel like this movie has no consequence, because I don't think
we'll see in Spider-Man.
Sure, I don't think they're going to go into any kind of depth or detail regarding the plane, the pilot, like all of these little.
I don't think they're going to get that. I don't think they're going to get that focus on them. But I definitely think there's going to be commentary like how the world has changed. I think everybody coming back 5 years younger.
I think if they do, it'll be something like something as casual as, well, except for the pilots, that was really bad. It's not going to have. It's not going to carry the gravity that it should. Is the vibe I'm getting?
Yeah, but I mean, not to micro in on just the pilots, but like loved ones that died and they moved on. Other events.
Yeah, but those things don't really play a part into most of the characters that we know. Most of the characters that we know where their families are. We know where the pieces of that puzzle
I mean,
are.
it's look at. I mean, Hawkeye's gonna have to deal with. He went around and murdered a bunch of people for 5 years. I don't Scott lost 5 years of his daughter's life.
I don't think we're gonna get much of either of that.
Well, Hawkeye's getting his own show, isn't he?
I don't know.
I mean, there's definitely be another Ant-Man movie because he's signed for 3.
But I don't think we're going to get. I mean, I don't think it's going to have that much of an impact on his character.
It's definitely going to impact Wanda because the Wanda and Vision show.
No, but that's real loss.
Yeah.
See, that's real loss. That's the shit. But that's an Infinity War loss. That's part of my problem.
No, what I'm trying to say is that we're going to be back in those worlds at one point or another. You know what I mean? So I think that we're going to. Hopefully see some effect on there. And I think they're going to have to explain too that Spider-Man, like
that all of his friends
fucking got snapped. You know what I mean? And they talked about that.
One of them just failed 5 years.
Yeah. That's funny. 5 years, like when you're fucking 17 years old, 5 years is a huge amount of time.
Hey guys, this is from Pool 5555. Hey guys, I recently watched a YouTube video called Star Wars SC-38 Reimagined.
Dude, so funny, man. Like, you guys read that last week.
Oh, we did?
Yeah,
okay.
But the funny thing is I sent that to you guys without listening to the podcast.
Oh,
spontaneously.
That shit's fucking awesome.
It is awesome.
There's some parts of it that are
the
still
faces look a little
well.
weird.
It's mainly I feel like when like Obi-Wan flies through the like he gets hit with a force push or something, like flies, hits the wall and slides. Like it's like okay, all right.
Yeah.
You're not a
he's an old man.
You're not a production studio. I get it, but
I would edit that into
me
the
too.
film now.
My favorite scene of it
Now.
is just when Vader is walking through the hallway and just
pulls the lightsaber up.
Yeah, and I don't even know where it comes from.
Doesn't it come from like under his cape or something?
I can't tell.
Yeah.
But it's just like this is not the swag. It's the swag of it, like not breaking stride. It just flies into his hand. I love that shit.
Yeah, and there's like some echoes of the old movies that are in there as well. I thought it was pretty fucking badass.
I'm gonna make sure that we haven't missed anything. We did get a topic for discussion. I'd like to see a discussion on how y'all see the fandom: negative, positive, hateful, or delightful. I personally have gotten to
which fandom?
Yeah, it matters. I think I said that. Any fandom specifically? He said Transformers.
Let's you know what? Let's do multiple fandoms to answer that question.
Okay, all right.
Let's start with Transformer fandom.
Okay, I honestly think that Transformers generally, the fandom is on an upward swing.
Okay,
like
because Hasbro's been stepping up their game.
I think
strong third party.
I think it's kind of all of the above. Like there's still, like I remember when I got into it, it was like Hasbro versus third party was like it was vodka and milk. Like it was like
Great White Russians.
Yeah, it was like cats and dogs. It was like it was ready to tear each other's heads off, and I don't really see so much of that anymore. I feel like you get this KO stuff that still pops up that causes some dissension.
Yeah.
But for the most part, I think most of the Transformers fandom is on an upward swing. The weirdest thing about it is what's going on with Fans Toys right now in that fandom.
What's that?
They're just getting this
unfair.
Well,
I mean, you really can't be objective because you're paid by Fans
That's
Toys.
true. That's true. I get those big Fans Toys checks. They pay for these slippers.
Yeah.
These are Fans Toy slippers. But they're getting this inconsistent criticism.
Yeah.
Like they're getting criticism that these other companies aren't getting, and they're getting it on
they have a double standard,
and they're getting it at a 10. And sometimes they're not even fair criticisms. Like where they're like, well, Fans Toys doesn't put anything out. And it's like, look, they reveal a lot, and it takes a lot of time to get it out.
Yeah.
But if we start looking at the numbers, they put out more than most of the other companies, including the main line.
What were the categories again? Like, are they...
Well, I think he was just giving an example.
I just wanna...
Negative, positive, hateful, delightful.
I would say, in my experience, and listen, man, I'm not in the mix, but but I would say that the Transformer fandom, in my experience, has been majority negative.
Yeah, I agree.
Majority negative.
I agree. I think, but I do think they're on an upward swing generally. But I agree with you. But I hate to say this, and this is where people call me the elitist prick and all this shit. But like, I think it has something to do with the
cost of entry.
The cost of entry.
Yeah, I mean that there's some facts there.
I think that when you have people that are talking about the toys and they're buying $10 to $20 toys, and then you have people that are buying the toys at like a $60 to $150 level, and then you have people that are buying the toys or the statues maybe, but they don't really enter into that conversation. But like at the $1,000 level. Like these people are going to see this world very differently. It's going to cause conflict in how they interact with one another.
It's different. I hate to say this too.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. It's whenever you start talking about
because if anybody's the elitist here,
he just finally took off his fucking top hat. He's been wearing it all day.
Dude, I'm gonna buy that top hat. I think that there's a correlation there that's misguided. And I mean, like if you are a collector, if you are a knick-knack collector, you know what I mean? You like to pick up little knickknacks at fucking gas stations. That's a different thing than if you're a guy that goes and buys sculptures.
Yeah, exactly.
And I'm reducing it to that extreme because I think that it says something like if you're willing. We're sitting in here having a conversation today about a $2,500 investment on a piece of artwork to display in your house. And that's different than something that you pick up and put in your pocket and throw to your nephew to play with.
And I think the problem is with stuff like Transformers is that it pulls those two people together into a conversation. When really, if it weren't for this internet platform, these two people probably wouldn't even be communicating to one another.
I think a really good example of that is the Kotobukiya and Hot Toys. Because they're
Play Arts.
Play Arts. What is this?
Play Arts.
Play Arts. And Hot Toys, because they're kind of in similar. Like you could, to the untrained eye, they're in a similar pocket. Like somebody come down here and be like, "Oh yeah, man, he had like every fucking character of these
I didn't even know
Hot Toys.
I didn't even know Hot Toys made an Arkham City Harley.
Yeah. You know, and then they walk out, they be telling somebody like, "Dude, that wasn't." You're talking about a $60 figure versus a $300 figure. You know, you don't know what you're talking about. To an untrained eye, like, of course I do. I mean, we get that all the time when the guy comes in like, "Oh yeah, I had that He-Man." It's like, no, you didn't have that one.
Yeah,
oh, I had it out the
yeah,
front.
yeah.
No, you didn't have that one.
Well, I think that conversation is actually a little bit more interesting because I mean, Play Arts go for like 150, 180 now.
Oh yeah,
so
true.
so then you have
That's
Hot
true.
Toys that are like 200, 220, and they're stylistically different. So I
Yes.
think that's actually a better conversation to have. But you know what you don't see? Those two people warring.
That's true. That's
You
true.
know?
But I'm just using that as an example to
But I think
try
it's
to
actually
focus-
a great example
to focus
because of how different it is.
So I do, and you know, listen, man, I've had a very good TFCon. I've had 2 good experiences at TFCon, maybe 3. I think I've been 3. I went to Chicago one year, and I went to 2 in Canada.
Yeah,
So I had 3.
yeah,
I had a horrible BotCon experience.
yeah. Me too.
And I've had other, you know, but it's just there's also, if you go to a Baptist church and you go to a Catholic mass, they're both religious people. They both believe in the same God, right? But it's different experiences.
Vastly.
You know? So if I go to a BotCon or a TFCon, it's a different type of person than if I go to a Games Day or if I go to a Comic-Con or if I go to a AwesomeCon, right? And I kind of feel like those groups have different characteristics based on what their shared history and like what they're interested in.
I agree.
So I don't think it's a bad thing to say that like the majority of experience you have with some of the Transformer folks is negative. I feel like you probably get the most negative stuff about those type of reviews.
Yeah. Well, I think that at the same time, you know, like I've met some great.
Not saying it's not great people.
No,
Yeah.
no, you're not.
Yeah.
I'm just saying it's almost like, you know, when I take like some of the best people I've met, you know, from doing this sort of stuff that have become friends, and you know, like if the cost I had to pay was to have to deal with this handful of knuckleheads, I'd pay it 10 times over.
Yeah.
You know,
Next category then.
Star Wars is an obvious one that's sitting there.
I think Star Wars are mostly positive folks.
I think so too.
Yeah.
I think so too. But I think that there are like 3 different groups now.
Yes.
There's and there's
maybe 4.
Look, I could dissect them
Maybe
into like
4.
I could dissect them into like 30 different groups now. But
Name them what you got.
okay,
You got the original series.
the original series lives
Yep.
and dies with 4 to 6.
Yep.
And I'm not interested in shit else.
That's
Haven't
right.
been satisfied
Yep.
since.
Yep.
And I was
Yep.
only low key satisfied with 6.
Yep. There you go. Number 2.
Original trilogy and the prequels.
Yep.
And I don't like this new stuff.
Yep.
And then there's the people that are like, I like all of it.
And I would say there's also the EU guys.
Yeah, and I could also go to say there's like the hardcore Knights of the Republic people,
Yeah.
and I could also say there's the hardcore Clone Wars people. There's like this,
I would group them in the EU. Like they like different. They
except
like
the
other,
count. Well, the Clone Wars counts. So maybe put the Knights of the Republic with the EU people, and then the Clone Wars we'll separate.
Sure.
Okay.
Sure.
Yeah.
So yeah, I'm with you on that. The only reason I would say the EU folks is because they're like there's a hunger for additional Star Wars media outside the films, and they're constantly consuming that. And I find that EU people that I'm grouping also like Star Trek, also like other sci-fi.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so they're sci-fi readers, and they've stumbled and dabbled in that Star Wars world, and they like what they see. But yeah, I'm with you on that one. And I think the first group, the 4, 5, and 6 guys, they don't care. You know what I mean?
Well, I also think they hate they're like the very.
But like they're 7 movies into not caring, so they don't even care about not caring. I think the people who like the prequels and the original, I think that the salties of the bunch. You know what I mean? Because they're the ones that it's like after so long, you're divorced for so long, you don't even hate her anymore.
No, I know the comparison you're making. I'm not sure if I agree.
Okay,
but I think that they're both. I think they're both pretty vocal. Because I generally find that the people that are like, I like both the first 2 trilogies, while they may not like the quote unquote Disney era, like they're also more forgiving. Like they might like the people that like the prequels. I feel like they often also like Solo and often also like Rogue One.
I do.
You know, it's just, well, you didn't like Rogue One.
Huh?
You didn't like Rogue One.
I didn't dislike it.
But like, you
Yeah.
know what I'm saying? Those people often like those too. It's just the saga movies.
Yeah.
So like, I find them to be a little bit more forgiving.
Yeah.
Where like the 4, 5, 6 people are like, nope, that's it.
Yeah.
And don't
Yeah.
get me started on 6.
Yeah.
You know, like,
Yeah. I'm with you.
But I feel like Star Wars fans that like the people that like really are into that shit are generally positive.
I'm gonna go
about
back.
the fandom,
I'm gonna go back and watch.
but there's a lot of poison in that fandom as well.
I'm gonna go back and watch 7 and 8 back to back.
I need to do the same.
Because I keep on, I keep on coming. Like we got some Star Wars spoilers. We'll get to in a second. And like you told me, and I'm like, huh. And like I was like, man, I don't care. Like I don't care. And like through compersion, I'm kind of happy for you. 'Cause it's something that you've wanted for a long time. Even though you kind of wanted, even though you kind of
It's not exactly what I want.
Yeah, and you kind of did. You're like, I don't know how I feel about that. But now you feel a certain way about it, which is good.
And because of other elements that we're hearing about it, it's like if all of this is kind of going on, it makes this.
I am hyper worried about you though, because I'm like, if
my theory doesn't work out,
bullshit.
Oh, that the leak.
Yeah.
So
I
I'm
was
less
like,
worried. I'm less worried about. I'll tell you, I'm less worried about the leak being bullshit than I am about my theory not turning out right.
Okay, but because I'm like, dude, if this isn't bullshit, this leak is going to cause some problems.
We'll wait.
Well, I'm going to go back though real quick. So, like, I've been thinking about because I got some like buddies that really like my buddy William. He's in the game club. He really likes it. He loves 8 and he loves 8. And there's some other people, and I think Joe likes it. I think Chris is even warmed up to it. And I'm like, damn man, what is it? So like, I try to look at the good stuff. Like, all right, it's cool to see that fucking duel in the chamber. Snoke is a cool character.
The Praetorian Guard.
Snoke's a cool character. The white sand and the red is kind of a cool visual. So like, it's like I keep on coming back. It's like, all right, there are cool visual things about this that are beautiful and it's very well. But I can't. There's like there's certain story elements that just are so distracting for me, and I want to. It's almost like I want to re-edit. I want a episode 1, episode 8.
A fandom edit.
I want a fandom edit. Fandom edit. It's so fucking. I love it.
The fandom
It is so fucking great. But like I still am softening my heart and leaving a window for episode 9. But like, dude, like the other day I was talking to somebody was talking to me about it, and like, are you excited about Star Wars? I'm like, no, not really. And like, part of me is like I'm just not happy with the choices they made. And I guess you don't know until it's done. But part of me is like, I don't even want to fucking spend money on that shit. Like after I spend $62,
I think you shouldn't. I think you should.
After so like when you buy me a ticket, I'll go.
right. Let me see it first, and I'll decide if I think it's worth the money for you. I think you should. I think everybody should speak with their wallet. Like it doesn't. It doesn't. In regard to Star Wars, like it doesn't. There's nothing about how you feel about it that upsets me. You know what I mean? Like
I got to see it for this.
For
this thing that we do, I have to see it for.
If you
and hopefully it'll be good.
If you like it, you like it, and if you don't like it, you don't like it. Like the only time where you and I have bumped heads regarding Star Wars is when we don't talk about what we like and what we don't like. When we start getting into you're wrong for liking or not liking this because of this.
Yeah,
that's when we start.
No, you're
bumping
right.
Heads.
You're right. I think what we want instead of that is like, dude, I just want to realize that this is X, Y, Z. Or you know what I mean? Like we're trying to find that objective common ground with it, which is it's hard to do because it is such a subjective piece.
Yeah. And I'll tell you, like 8, I can pinpoint exactly what my issue with 8 is. Like when foes, I'm good with it. When foes went to get the to meet the person with the lapel, the flower on the lapel, that should have been DJ. They should have walked in there, met him, and fucked off. Yep. Like had they done that, that movie would be like a 10 for me. Do you know what I mean? Because my main issue with 8 is there's 3 sequences to that mission
that doesn't have any consequence.
That you don't need. Yeah. You don't like it has consequence, but you don't. You can do it simpler. Like if they would have just gone straight to him. Mm-hmm. They're like, look, we can pay you, we can do whatever to get you on board. He's like, cool, let's roll. Yeah. They roll. Yeah. They don't have to get locked up and meet him locked up. And then escape. and then get to the ship, and then have a conversation on the ship, and then get into the Death Star or whatever it was. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like the supremacy. That's 5 things that happened when they could just have gone straight to him, paid him, and moved on. And had they been able to do that, and then in that route, like that to the supremacy, DJ has that one quick conversation with him where it's like,
Been
look,
done.
he sold to the bad guys. He sold to the bad guys. He sold to the bad guys. He sold to and he sold to the good guys.
You know what I wish though too.
That's all
I
you
wish.
need.
To fix it for me, the slow chase just brought a nebula, or you know what it was. Let me tell you, man. I almost feel like they were going to do another asteroid scene where they had to do the slow chase. But like, oh, we can't do it. That's just almost like episode 5. They've already complained. It's like, all right, let's be void space that we're doing the slow chase. You know, and it's so illogical. It's so distracting to me. It's so fucking distracting. And even and I'll tell you, even some of the stuff you said about Luke in that one video has kind of softened me to Luke a little bit. Like I still don't like it, but I'm like, okay, I can appreciate the change in that retrospect. Like I can, even though it wouldn't be my choice for Luke, and I disagree with who they thought Luke was. It makes sense that that's who they think Luke is. I'm fine with that. But like, there's still some stuff that's just it's so like, God damn it, dude, just fucking outflank these motherfuckers, man. You guys are naval fucking, you know.
I think with that one, I completely understand where you're coming from.
Yeah,
and I've had that conversation with people where I've had people say like, you know why I don't like it? Because it feels like Star Trek to me. And like, that's not what I want here. I've had people say that to me.
And nobody gave Poe any props. Like, if Poe didn't destroy that fucking dreadnought, they would have followed him up there and destroyed them all. You know what I mean? Like Poe did the right thing. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I don't know. To be fair, I don't know enough about the dreadnought, like and what the dreadnought is capable of. And
it's a fleet killer,
right?
You know?
But what is the supremacy capable of? Because that was there, you know. So I don't know enough about all that to make that sort of claim. But what works for me just in universe is that Hux is like making a spectacle of it, and I can, so for me, I can just buy into it and be like, I'm good with that. It doesn't bother me.
Yeah.
But I do think that like. We'll wait because I'm getting more information. There's more information this week about some Star Wars stuff that's supposed to come out.
Okay,
and and it's actually from this Vanity Fair interview with the and it wasn't in the magazine. It's like the guy who wrote the article for the magazine being interviewed about it, and he's like giving his 2 cents about it. And some of the things he said, I'm like, thank God, that's something we need.
Okay.
I guess I can spoil this.
Do it. Let's do it.
So it's not a big spoiler.
98.
He says it like he doesn't really give any. He said one thing we're getting in episode 9 is backstory on how the First Order became the First Order.
Cool.
So like I need that.
Yeah.
That's something I've been needing since day one. So anyway, what other fandoms? You want to do Games Workshop? How's that?
Yeah, I think you know what, man. Games Work. So these new paints came out recently, which is all the rage. It's basically it's got a strange viscosity. So when you paint something, like when you use a wash or ink or whatever, like the inks like go down in the recesses and get really dark. Well, something about this, like the mid color, you have a dark color, a mid color, and a highlight basically for any item that you paint. Well, these things, it's one coat. It gets dark in the recesses. The mid-tone stays the contrast paints. The mid-tone stay mid-tone, and then like the edges get like this white. You showed me the
pictures.
It's fucking,
it looks great.
Amazing, man. And so like, and don't get me wrong, man. It's not. I'm not going to get anything out of this paint personally. You know what I mean? Because I can already do that manually. But guys who don't have the confidence to paint or don't want to paint, this is a way for them to get in there to paint quickly. To paint at a very good tabletop level, and it makes the game so much more enjoyable.
Is there any part of you that thinks, I hate to cut you off and I'm going to let you finish, but is there any part of it that thinks there might be some snobbery? Like,
for paint? No, I don't think so.
Okay,
I think cool. Yeah, I'm excited about it.
Because I can see like,
contrast
you
paints.
have to use those tricks, do you?
No, here's the thing about painting, man, and like,
because I guess it's kind of art. People are a little bit more forgiving.
You know what, man? I could say about Games Workshop
if you put
painters.
The effort.
Yeah. Like no matter how good you are or how bad you are, if somebody comes to me, like I get this for people outside, and like I don't like bragging about my paint. You know, like people like, oh man, you're serious. Like dude, like I'm okay. Like I've been doing this for fucking 25 years. I should be this good. You know what I mean? Like if I didn't, I'd be wasting my fucking time if I haven't got any better. You know? And there's guys out there that'll fucking blow me away and do like freehand shit on stuff the size of your fucking pinky nail. You know, that's like a fucking 16 chapel roof.
I mean, we've talked at length about your kind of humbleness and humility regarding your painting.
The only thing I'm humble about.
But it's funny because it's like I don't necessarily disagree with that statement, but it's funny because I do think it is it's probably one of your strongest talents. Like if I were to introduce you or talk about you with someone, be like, well, what is he good at? It'd probably be the first thing I mention.
Yeah. There's other things I'm really humble about that I get.
But that's what, like Joe and I said this, like the things that you're best at are the things you're most humble about.
Maybe that you know of, but like anyway, in the community, like if you're a guy who's learning something, like, hey man, check out this. This is the technique I'm working. Like, hey man, this is really good. I see that you're kind of like learning how to get that in there, you know. And it's much a sharing community with that aspect. So I don't think the contrast paints are going to do anything negative because the majority of people, you know. The majority of people that I play with, we kind of have like, you know, paint your model type rule. Not to say that you will use an unpainted model, but the other thing too is to get volume out quickly and to get into the game quicker is going to be a really good thing. And you can always go back and add extra stuff.
Sure.
So I'm actually really excited about it. So Games Workshop, I mean, they've been working on these paints for 5 years apparently. That's fucking impressive. They've had that much foresight.
I think they've always taken pride in what
dude, the new guy who's running that company now.
But what do you think about the fandom?
Let me get it. So the fandom, I think, is they're a multifaceted set, like a lot of fandoms. But like for the most part, I've heard nothing but good things recently. Now you've always had the complaints about like Games Workshop is too expensive, blah blah blah. But they've always been super passionate about the game. They've been passionate about the models. So I would say there's overall positivity. Like you do get clicks in the different factions. You know what I mean? So the Chaos players always whine and cry because their codex wasn't updated or some shit like that. You know what I mean? Dark Angel guys are always traitors. Like you have these little rivalries. You know,
but there's like in universe,
Space Wolf guys or it's like a bunch of furries. Yeah. But like for the most part, it's been really good. Now the one thing is I will say, and this is getting some generalizations that might hurt people's feelings, but like. Again,
you want to get on 4 Dummies for this because that's where we've been hurting.
Dude, you can sample this with former dummies if you want to. So, there's the artistic aspect about the game. There's a strategy aspect about the game. There's the collecting. There's the modeling, and what I refer to as the math, the math hammer. The guys get in there, and each model has a value point. Right. There's special rules involved, and you're trying to squeeze the most out of the size that you're going to do and
play to the book.
Exactly. So those type of dudes, like the math hammer dudes, I mean, you can get really lost in the weeds on statistics, and they'll be like, dude, you shouldn't use that because X Y's like, dude, this real cool, bro. Real cool. You know why I want that guy to have axe? I want to have a fucking axe.
Right, because it looks fucking badass.
Yeah, that's his character. So those guys, there was a time, like probably the mid '90s to the early 2000s, where those guys
rule with an iron fist.
They just actually that's not even fair. They just got to. They were like they ruined everybody's fun. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But I haven't seen that. In like almost a decade.
That's cool.
Yeah, I really, maybe it's because it's me. No, I'm just joking.
I think that you've had at least on the local level, you've probably had an impact on the culture of how people play. Like obviously not nationally, but you probably have had an impact nationally also with the Beer and Bolters podcast.
Yeah. I mean, when we were doing the Beer and Bolters, we were doing it fucking regularly. I mean, the numbers were fucking stupid.
Yeah, and they're probably.
Maybe not Joe that Joe lives down the street. We might be able to do more.
Like culture, dude. Like it's one of my biggest. Like it's the thing that's most rewarding to me about all this shit is when you can see you've made a cultural impact.
Yeah,
like people are approaching something different.
Yeah,
because of the way that you've challenged them to approach something. You know,
absolutely.
That's fucking great.
Yeah, for sure.
I did want to say about Star Wars real quick. Just because.
What do you think of the Games Workshop?
So I don't really have a point of reference other than what I've seen.
The dozen people that you see at my place regularly.
At your place.
And Joe.
Or at a Games Workshop store.
I'm trying to get Chris, bro.
Yeah.
Because Chris needs some 28mm fucking terrain. God damn it, man.
I mean, if he sees the business, he'll go after it,
Yeah.
So when I see them in stores, like I think you've put together a pretty decent group of guys.
Yeah, for sure.
you know, and it's just like any other group of guys. Like if I was picking a dodgeball team, you know, there'd be a few I'd leave off my list and a few I'd want to pick immediately. You know,
Dave, you're getting picked.
yeah, for sure. I fuck with him. You know, like I do fuck with him, and you know, old dumbass Chris I fuck with. And, there's a lot of those guys. Like Keith, I just hung out with Keith the other day.
Dirty Roy. Because he's in the paint Joe's house.
Yeah. And you know, we exchanged a few jokes, and I didn't bring up Main Man. He did. You know, like
dude, Keith's got a really. You know who Keith is? He's a young Marlboro man.
A young what?
Marlboro man.
Marlboro man?
Yeah, think about it. Like he's like, you know, he's just kind of like, yeah, he's like a hipster version.
Yeah,
you know what I
yeah.
mean?
So, but you know, I fuck with a lot of those guys. But like, there when I would go to Games Workshop.
Hold on a second. Let me go back to that. I like my whiskey strong. I like my cigarettes with a filter. I like my latte frothy. Fuck, I fucked up my own joke. God damn it.
But when I would go to Games Workshop, there was some nerds there that were like,
that was a decade ago.
they were on a different level of
They stink.
nerd. Well, yeah, that I mean, yeah, but I mean, aside from like the sociological things, like just like it's how that plays into like their personality, where it's like, you know, like scared to talk and like, like it's like dude, like you nerd hardcore.
You know what's funny?
You committed to the whole stereotype.
You
wanted all of it.
There's one cat that we've been hanging out with more and more, and like, I mean, how long has this club been going on now? 6 years or so. And like 6 years ago, I wasn't a big fan of him, but he's had like that. Like he's a literally different person. You know what I mean? He's got a girlfriend now. He's like cool people. And like, damn man, like. But like, it's kind of like I've watched him grow up, and so, you know, because he's a lot younger than me, dude. Not for nothing, man. Fucking, I went to go get my cup of coffee today, and it was like the cashier's birthday, like a little cafeteria at my job. It's her birthday. She's like, I was like, how old are you? 20, 22, 23? She's like, 24. Like, oh, okay. Oh, you're still young. He's like, well, you're only 27, right? And I'm like, yeah, we'll go with that. I'll take that. I'll take that all day long. No, how old are you? 26? Am I wrong? 28? Yeah, that's 27 is fine. I'll take that. It's fine. It's good.
Young people have a poor look at the world.
As I'm limping away from her, my bones.
But I wanted to say this about the Star Wars fandom, because I know I'll get a comment about this, that there's a poisonous element, and we did kind of touch on it in regard to that. But that is where the conflict in Star Wars exists. It's in the media. Like,
because they went clicks.
But no, I don't even mean like that. Like it's in the films. Like the people that are into the video games. Like fucking video games are awesome, dude. Star Wars fucking rules.
Yeah,
you know,
yeah. Force Unleashed, dude. Love that game.
Yeah, but I mean, like the people that are like into them now. Like there's like people like your brother that's like adamantly into fucking Battlefront.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. Like those folks, like they don't have like
he's addicted, bro.
But when they talk about
he'll play that game like fucking 24/7.
Right, and when he's not alone. And like when they talk about Star Wars, it's like that shit that's at the forefront of their minds. So like they're like, it's great.
Yeah.
There's also like the collector community in Star Wars. You don't see a lot of beef with them. You see a little bit with like import versus domestic, like the SH Figure Arts versus the Black Series. But you really only see that now because the Black Series have gotten so goddamn good. And like you see a little bit in the 3 3/4 with the 5 POA versus the super articulated, but you don't see so much of that now because some people have been like, you know what? I don't need these motherfuckers to be super articulated if they're just background characters.
Yeah.
Most people now are kind of like, look, Hasbro, can you do the main characters super articulated and the background characters 5 POA and we'll be happy. Like, you know, like at first it was like a big like boom, like no, don't take our articulation away. But now it's kind of like, you know what? I don't have to worry about standing him up anymore. He stands just perfect because he's got no knees.
Yeah.
You know?
That's a good point.
So like it's mainly it's the film, it's the cinema, it's the media, it's the purchasable media people that really are the ones where the dissent is.
What and one thing is what's really gonna, you know, drive you mad. What if the dissent's all fucking bullshit?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And it's just clickbait bullshit. It's bots.
Yeah.
You know?
I mean, like there's
I mean that shit is so bad.
Yeah, there's some shit to that.
So bad.
Let me see if we have any other questions.
No rapid fire?
Well, I'm gonna see.
Go with the old one.
Because it is early. It is early in the week.
I'm gonna do my peanut butter challenge with you.
With me?
Oh yeah. I'm gonna blindfold you.
Good. So Esteban sent.
One of them's gonna be almond butter.
And one of them's gonna be Vegemite, and I'm just.
Dude, you got no fucking kind of stomach, bro.
No, dude. You know what? I can't be around, with the exception of my kids.
Yeah.
Poop.
Oh, really?
If I walk past like homeless people that have shit themselves, like,
Really?
Yeah, I'm no good with poop.
After
dude.
all these years of cleaning up shit.
No good with it. No good. Like my kids, I can handle. Like it's kind of like it's like my poop. You know what I mean? But dude, I'm no good with it. I'm like,
I used. You know what's funny, man? I used to
wait. I got to tell this story.
Okay.
2 stories regarding poop.
Okay. I want to do blood after you done poop.
Okay, good.
Okay.
So there's this one guy at the mopping facility who he's worse with the poop, right? Like he's worse. He's worse than me.
Is he on your same shift?
No.
Oh,
no,
dude,
no.
that would be great because then you go back. It's not me. It's him.
Yeah, no.
It's like, once I see him throw up,
and I mean, him and I are rarely. You know, it's only when you're mopping the toilet.
I was fine until he threw up.
It's the janitorial areas where like it's a filthy place where it's like there's shit on the floor or something. But like
bleach takes all the smell away.
So this other guy was messing with him and put like just like the Denzel Washington shit, like put Skippy in his ass crack, like at the top of his ass crack, and like he was just sitting down with him one day and just reached around and grabbed a whole bunch out and just fucking like licked it out of his fingers and the dude threw up at the table like so this. So here's another poop story. A buddy of mine. This is back like college.
Did you get in trouble for that shit, man? Oh, that's great.
This is college days, right? So there was a guy who was also like funny about poop just in general. Like he would always be like I don't shake hands. Like you might have poop on your hands. I don't know how well you wipe. Like I don't want poop anywhere near me.
Yeah.
So he had a party at his house, and this guy I know was like, Bobby, come here. And I was like, all right. So I came here and he's like, he had all these like paper towels on the floor in this dude's bedroom. And he was like, I'm going to shit in this dude's room. And I was like, what? And he's like, yeah, dude, I'm going to shit right here on this bedroom floor. And I was like, are you crazy? And he's like, fuck yeah. So like,
why does he sound like Jack?
He sounds like Jack Nicholson, like the Eastern Shore version. So he gets all these,
Bobby.
Hey, Bobby. Hey, I'm going to shit on this dude's floor. So like, he like and this dude was kind of a prankster.
Well, here I am, sweetheart.
And this dude was kind of a prankster too, you know. So it was like all fair, love, and war. Yeah. So he had like this little pile of paper towels. He's like, dude, like he's a weirdo, you know what I mean? Like a great weirdo, but he's like, dude, you gotta watch me. I'm gonna shit right now. And I'm like, all right, man, go ahead. So like he squats over this pile of paper towels and he goes to shit. His dick starts pissing, like, and he can't control it, and it's like it's pissing all over the place. And he's like, "Bobby, I can't stop it!" And it's like just piss all over the room. And this dude still never shat on the floor, just pissed all over the walls and furniture and fucking carpet and shit.
Black Phillip, you need to animate that shit right there. Oh god. Oh fuck.
Yeah, that's a good one.
Oh my god, dude. That's some funny shit right there.
So. Esteban said, hello, gentlemen. Last week, you all spoke about fan-made reimagining of the Obi-Wan and Darth Vader fight scene, and it made me think about how updated effects and viewings of the original material. On YouTube, there is on official Star Wars Kids channel that has fun facts, characters, bios, animated versions of the films. I've added 3 in this email for you guys to check out, and these animated shorts of the movies are hyper-stylized and a modern, westernized take on anime. The question I have is, do these fast-paced and colorful adaptations make the original films unwatchable to younger viewers? Recently, Bobby had mentioned that he gave his daughter the phone to watch Star Wars scenes and her little porg heart melted. Can that feeling be replicated with multiple video mediums telling the same story? This also recently happened to me and my brother. We were watching episode 3 and just kept comparing it to the Clone Wars and Rebels show. I don't know. I think that I think that retelling it in animated media is not the best, and I think that like just like you, I would love to cut that fight scene into. I think that like one of the beautiful things about Star Wars, like because I've shown some Star Wars movies to people for the first time, like in the past 12 years. Yeah. I've been like, you've never seen this? You really should take a minute and watch this. And the thing that's interesting about Star Wars is because of all the changes they made, for better or for worse.
Yeah.
Because of all the digital redefining it, and you know
the door's still open.
Well, not only is the door still open, but like people will watch this and they'll say to me like, "When was this fucking movie made?"
Yeah,
and I'll be like 1977. Like, it doesn't look old.
Yeah.
You know, and that's a nice thing about Star Wars.
Yeah.
It has somehow been able to kind of stay modern in the way it looks.
Yeah.
Not every scene holds up. But generally, like the film grain and everything, like it looks clean.
Yeah. No, I'm with you. You know what, man? and maybe because we've already gone through 2 or 3 iterations of it, I'm just like, update it again.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, like.
Yeah.
I mean, you know what? Maybe we need to start a petition for that shit.
Like, I'm okay with just even if they went back and now they could fine tune Jabba.
I mean, they could take that whole scene, that whole Obi-Wan scene as is, just go back there and
Tighten
digital mapping of his face.
Fucking ILM it. ILM with
I mean, and like pay that dude.
Yeah,
pay that guy money
for sure.
You know,
pay this man his money.
Yeah, fucking dope, bro.
I think that if they went back and put that touch on that Jabba scene where Han Solo walks over his tail, with the more modern, it'd be nobody loses there.
Yeah, I agree.
You know, so
without stepping on him.
Yeah, or they can find a way to
Oh, of course they can.
You know, but I'd be okay with that.
Or just take that scene out. We don't need it.
Yeah. Let's see if we have anything else to add.
Guys, I'm sorry about my voice and snorting over here. The allergies have been kicking my ass.
Yeah, we don't have a new rapid fire.
What? Go to the old one. You can rapid fire me.
I think I deleted it.
You son of a bitch.
Yeah, because I kind of get rid of them.
That's fine.
We do have some Star Wars news.
Let's get into it.
We have some regular news, and then we have some spoilery news. So, regular news. Knights of the Old Republic. So making Star Wars reports. I want to be careful how I read it. Leia Kalogridis to write a Star Wars Knights of the Old Republic film. BuzzFeed is exclusively reporting that Leia is writing that. Kathleen Kennedy did acknowledge that the movie was possible, but was also rather non-committal to the idea at the time of Star Wars Celebration, careful not to promise to anything that wasn't actually going to happen. Lucasfilm and Disney are, as per usual, not confirming or denying, but this means a third Star Wars trilogy could be in development right now alongside Rian Johnson's and the Game of Thrones folks.
Oh, so it's not the Game of Thrones folks.
That's what this is suggesting.
Oh.
Kalogridis is close to finishing the first script of a potential KOTOR trilogy, according to the 3 sources. She is the first woman writer of a Star Wars movie since Empire Strikes Back in 1980, when Leia Brackett received a co-writing credit with Lawrence Kasdan. BuzzFeed goes on to say that the script has been in development since 2018. If accurate, that makes it somewhat unlikely that related to the Game of Thrones people. Before the new schedule was released, my source at Disney believed that the hiatus that was coming was to allow the Game of Thrones folks to fully develop their series with the most creative comfort possible. So that's some interesting stuff.
It is.
I don't know. I think like I said, man, just like I was talking about a few weeks ago, I like this Knights of the Republic, and we got Calum wrote us and kind of ironed out a few things between the Old Republic and Knights of the Old Republic. But it's and he says he concurs, it is a passionate group of fans, and I really feel like they got to put their kid gloves on to deal with it. You know, it's like if they were going to do a long Halloween movie or something. You know, I don't know. Let's see. I'm excited though, man. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't.
Knights of the Old Republic actually excites me more than anything else.
Yeah, but I mean, I'm excited just the potential of 3 different series. But one thing I do need to talk about is we keep saying the Game of Thrones trilogy.
Yeah, but it might just be 2 movies.
It's not confirmed that it's a trilogy.
They've
said 2 movies.
Yeah,
with a
So you know what? It could be the Game of Thrones, 2 movies from those guys, and the third one could be Solo.
So I'm glad you brought that up because we're going to get there as well.
I think we talked about that last 2 weeks ago, right?
So this note is more like a duo. Am I right? Star Wars solo writer teases sequel plans. War story. Sequel war story for Star Wars. While the film set up potential sequel, the second movie was never announced. Let's see here. Beyond grateful and galvanized by the Make Solo 2 Happen energy on Twitter today, Kasdan wrote, means so much to everyone involved, and your enthusiasm makes it possible for us to keep advocating for it. Because the maker knows there's a war story, capital WAR, war story set in a galaxy far, far away that's yet to be told. The war story tease also came with an image featuring the logos of the 3 powerful crime syndicates, Crimson Dawn, which had the central role in Solo, the Hutts, and the Pike family. From this tease, it appears as if the Solo sequel would find Han and Chewie caught in the middle of a full-blown crime syndicate war.
That's tight.
I would fucking be... Yeah. And dude, I'm okay if it's a series.
Dude,
make it a series, I'm good.
Do you think that here soon, the power of social media is going to dictate through some kind of democracy of what gets made and what doesn't get made. You're upset that Lucifer's going off the air. Petition for it, and Netflix will pick it up. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
that's some interesting shit, man.
It would be, but then at the same time, like I don't want fucking crybabies to have their way every fucking time. Like I don't want like bring Luke back, rewrite Game of Thrones, like shoot.
But see,
no,
I don't.
How about
I don't
this?
think,
I'm petitioning for you to shut the fuck up.
But I don't think we're gonna get enough volume of people that are gonna be dedicated to that shit.
Right.
You know what I mean? So, but like, they can look at real numbers, like real metrics.
Yeah.
Are they all right?
Yeah. It's just interesting. I'll talk to you about it in a minute.
Let's get to the spoilers, goddammit.
Well, I want to make sure that we didn't miss anything because there has been some Leia news real quick. Last one. J.J. Abrams explained how and why Carrie Fisher is in The Rise of Skywalker. I'm just going to see if there's any quotes. It's hard to even talk about it without sounding like I'm being some kind of cosmic spiritual goofball, but it felt like we suddenly had found the impossible answer to the impossible question. There are moments where they're talking. There are moments when they're touching. There are moments in this movie where Carrie is there, and I really do feel as an element of the uncanny spiritual, classic Carrie that it would have happened this way because somehow it worked, and I never thought it would.
Huh. That's intriguing.
Yeah.
I wonder how much they changed the story to make that work.
Yeah. I don't know. So, spoilers.
I do want to have another conversation about the trajectory of these three films from the hardline choice that people made, like hardline choice from Harrison Ford saying I want to die, and that would be it. Hardline choice from JJ saying I'm not going to do the second one. Hardline choice from them then putting JJ on the third one, and Rian Johnson doing what he had to do based off the script. I really want to be a fly on the wall during some meetings.
I would love to. I would love to
get into it.
All right. So let me find this because I don't want to quote it because this isn't like
this isn't confirmed.
No,
it's a rumor.
Yes, but it is from the same. All right, we should say this. So if you don't want any Star Wars leaks, this is a big one. If you don't want any spoilers, this is a big one. So head on out now, and thank you for listening up until this point.
Rey is actually transitioning in the film.
Yes, from fat to skinny.
That's right.
She's trans slender.
Continue. Fucking eyebrows. Get out of here.
All right, 99, 98, 97. So, this is from the same league. This is from Making Star Wars. They've been right about most things, 90%.
Okay.
They've also been adamant that they think from day one that Rey is no one.
Okay.
So way before episode 8, they've been like on this Rey is no one train.
Yeah.
At the end of episode 7, they said maybe, and this is just their deductive reasoning, maybe she's Luke's kid, but she's probably no one.
Yeah.
This is the first time they've ever said this.
Okay.
So, here is the gist of the rumor. This is in regard to Rey's parentage. Rey is Han Solo's daughter, but she is not Leia Organa's daughter, and therefore is not a Skywalker. Leia and Han were estranged when she began training with Luke. When she did not complete that training, she returned to Han, but Ben Solo knew of the affair, although not necessarily about Rey, and began acting out, and this was when he was sent to Luke. The mother is not Zorzi or Carrie Russell. So, there's a couple of things that we don't know in there. We don't know if Leia knows about Rey.
Okay.
They think that she does not.
Okay.
And we don't know if Kylo knows about Rey then.
Yeah.
But they think that is more possible.
Okay.
And it does lead credence to what girl.
Yeah.
It does lend credence to, you're nothing, no one, this is in your story, like there's a little jealousy.
It does have, but the romance aspect, that.
So, but that's always been more so a projection.
It might be.
There are a lot of people that are upset with this news.
Yeah.
Because they want Reylo. That's what they want.
Reylo. Fuck out of here.
But they
Yeah.
So, also, let me tell you what I think it might lend credence to is a theory of yours.
What's that?
That maybe her gift regarding the Force has to do with her half connection to someone who is very strong with the Force.
Who's that?
Kylo. That remember how you were saying how like when she's around powerful Force users, she might be. It might not be that. Like it might not be like a physical around.
Yeah.
But because she is the half sibling of this thing, and they are connected, she is able to tap more into this well.
Yeah. I don't know, man. I got like, do you? Let me ask you this, and I need you to be honest with me.
Yeah.
Don't lie to me.
Let's do it.
God damn it. You've always wanted her to be a Solo.
Yes.
From day one. Because you just feel like you want that Jaina connection.
Well, that and I've always thought that the way Han looked at her, treated
In
her,
episode
felt
7.
like a father-daughter thing.
And I would agree with you. I think they're supposed to be like this is the closest thing to a father she's ever had. You know, now that we've got as much story out there and we have as much, do you think it makes the most logical storytelling sense now, or like? And what I'm getting at, I think it's easy for me to say. I don't think that this was originally the concept. That maybe they're trying to do like maybe we should go back and make her his daughter just to get that connection. And that may not be the best course of action. Not that it would be the worst. It would work for you because you've always wanted that. But in regard to storytelling, do you think it's the best course of action?
So. That's complicated. Let me tell you how I feel about it. I think it's less necessary now.
Yes.
Than it would have been before 8.
Okay.
I think JJ, and this is all predicated on just
your
my ass and watching the movie and seeing what was in the movie.
Yeah,
right. I think it was on the table for JJ.
Okay.
I think it was always there for him. Not a locked in definite, but like I want this door to be open to be Han's or Luke's.
Well, one thing he said that off the cuff is like her parents aren't even in the movie. You know what I mean? He made that comment like somebody was saying something.
Yeah, but he's also been known to say like
but it was a reactionary thing. You know what I mean? Like they're not in the movie yet or something. Whatever he said. You know what I mean? So like you may be right. They might have. I assume,
and actually,
at one point in the draft of this film, they're writing it. They're like, "Are we going to do the Jaina and Jason thing? Are we going to have twins that are Han and Leia's?"
Yeah.
So I think no matter what, when day one of writing the script, like, listen, we're going to have a progeny of one of the main characters in this.
Right?
Is it going to be Jason, Jaina? Hey, what if we do the Jason thing at the end where he kind of gets evil, but we start that from the beginning? And that's all right. That's not a bad idea. We won't do. We'll have a female in there. Maybe should we make them twins? Oh, maybe we'll make them twins. Oh, this is too much. So like. I definitely think that's on the brainstorming floor. You know what I mean? But I don't like. I wonder once they solidify that story, how much they've gone back to the drawing board, back to the brainstorming session since episode 7.
So I think JJ did. When he went back for 9. I think they're like, how are we going to do this? I think that conversation probably came back up. I think that Ryan 100% wanted her to be no one. Because
he even said it in an interview.
Because I think in his mind, what was most important about the Force for him was to give that feeling back to kids in fucking 1977 of
be anybody.
I can be a Jedi.
Yeah.
I'm
with you.
I think that was at the forefront of his mind. But
that Chosen One shit is prequel shit.
Yeah. But I think the JJ thing, I think that he wanted that door left open so that it could be anybody's.
Yeah.
So that it could be further explored. And I think that he probably has toyed around with the idea of both, of Luke's being Luke's kid and being Han's kid.
Yeah.
I think that, like, while I think it is less important now than it may have been before, if it is tied in regard to her abilities, that seems to bother a wide swath of the viewership, right?
She's not because her parents aren't Force sensitive.
Well, I think that people have. We don't really know who her parents are.
Here's the thing: her mother could be a Jedi.
Correct. We never know. You know, but just because it's been like a thing from the beginning, right?
Yeah.
That if they explain that is the why, and it helps people digest that are having a problem digesting that, then I'm all for that as well.
Yeah. But also said her mother was a junker, right?
Yes,
and her stepdad is a junker.
Yes, and that the mother and the stepdad were drunkards and junk
drunkards.
Junk drunkards too.
Yeah.
Junk in the trunk of the drunkards.
Yeah. Junk. There it is.
Yep. What was it? Junk.
Junk.
But like, I
It's
think
got multiple layers of meaning.
I think that there's all of the leaks that are coming out of this, which are a lot.
Yeah.
It sounds like you know what I like about the idea of her being like, if Kylo ends up living on, right, or Ben, I guess I should say, and she ends up living on, and like ironically enough, Ben ends up carrying kind of the Skywalker legacy, and and Rey ends up carrying kind of the Solo legacy. Like that's just fucking cool to me.
That's not bad. I don't hate that. Yeah, so here again, I don't dislike that arc. Like I think that'd be cool, but again, I feel like they made too many missteps with the story where it doesn't make sense anymore. Like I feel like they kind of exhausted that option. You know what I mean? Because we do in this world have chosen ones in powerful lineages, and the son of Skywalker will be you know what I mean. Like so, there needs to be some kind of connective tissue there, and I kind of feel like they picked the wrong parent. Like it'd almost be better if it was Leia's kid with some other dude.
So
you know what I mean?
So my preference obviously would be Han and Leia's.
Yeah.
But it doesn't bother me. It doesn't bother me with her just being Han's, because we're getting that. Like, I think what's most important to me is that the Skywalker and Solo line goes on.
Yeah.
And like, so it's like everything is fulfilled, and that's like every little bit of information that I'm getting. It's like, I think, and I've been open about this, that I think they've made some big establishing problems with 7.
Yes, and you know what? You're right about that. The things that I hate about 8 most of all is what 7 left it to have to do.
Correct.
Yeah.
So with that, it sounds like the problems that I have, they are doing their best
To go back and
to make it
better.
Yeah, exactly. It's like one of those things where you watch like I watch 7 now, and I'm like, it's a fun romp.
Yeah.
It's but like, if little moments are going to mean so much more to me. Like like my hair is standing up, talking about it, and like if they can do that and tie a lot of those threads together, like, dude, even the way I see Dooku now with this Emperor leak is so much more meaningful to me.
Yeah.
Because like, he never gave a fuck.
Yeah.
He was always just you're a stepping stone.
Yeah, you're broken, old man.
Yep, you're not what I want.
Yep.
I'll have a new apprentice.
Because think about it, he's younger. He was younger than Dooku.
Younger and more powerful.
Yeah. And he's probably younger than Dooku
Yeah.
in the world.
Yeah. So it just seems like,
I hope they don't fuck it up. I'll tell you, man, I am. If you told me 5 years ago this was what it was going to be, I'd be like, cool. I'm on. That's what I always wanted. I always wanted them to do, the EU, and it kind of makes sense that they kind of flirt with concepts from the EU, and I like that,
because it kind of ties back to what they said about the legends.
It's like the legend that in universe.
Yeah.
But now I feel like so much is going past, and we've gone so left field that I don't know if it's going to work anymore. And I just wonder sometimes. I know you love Rian Johnson. I just wish that. I wish there was a little bit more forethought, and they wrote and filmed all three of them at the same time.
Yeah,
there's not a cohesive story in that regard. They're going one way and they go another direction, and now I think they're trying to they went off course, regardless if it's off course 7 or off course 8, whatever your perspective is. They're trying to compensate in 8, and I hope it doesn't make for a turbulent ride.
Well, I think that I think that it's one of those things where it won't seem that way in 5 years.
Hopefully not.
Like you look back at it and you watch it and you're like, no, now having seen 9 and the choices they made in 9, they did make it work.
Yeah, hopefully.
And maybe they weren't as organized, and maybe they were a little arrogant. Maybe they did have the hubris.
Maybe.
And maybe there's some commentary there.
Well, and I'll tell you one thing. Like, if you look at, and I know it's 2 different studios inside of Disney, but like Marvel, man, I've been going back and watching like clips and shit from old Marvel movies, because I'm in a Marvel mood right now. And dude, they had this Endgame shit fucking planned, or somebody fucking picked up all the threads and comments and whatnot. Even going back and watching Age of Ultron, I'm like, holy shit. You know, we're in the end game now. You know, it's like,
Yeah, I mean, and maybe that's the case. I wouldn't be surprised if it was somebody going back and doing the research.
I mean,
Like,
maybe,
you know?
I'm saying, but like it's. I mean, I think Fig.
No.
Figure. Foxtrot. All right, Kevin.
The dance, not the military thing.
Fucky.
Fuckity fuck.
Fuckity fuck. I mean, he's even said they had a
No,
projected
Kevin
out.
Funk Junk Trunk Punk Stunk Skunk.
Anyway, we'll see what happens.
Yeah. Oh, the other thing that I wanted to talk about, we were going to get back to, is the whether or not like the leak versus the theory, right? So So the leak regarding the Emperor thing is that's the leak.
Yeah.
My theory is that Kylo might have had this all set up. That
Yes.
it hinges on that. It hinges on that line of "I will finish what you started."
Yeah.
But like I am worried about that because
Yeah.
I do think it is like the most meaningful thing to do for him.
But
It makes Han's death better for me.
It does.
Like,
It does. Here's a problem.
I know what I have to do. I don't know if I'm strong enough to do it.
Again,
but God
this is
bless.
why they should hire us to write this shit, because how we would make it better.
Right.
You know what I mean? But there's other beats in there where like that he just wants to destroy the ship. Like, blow that ship out of the sky.
Well, no. Okay, so
you know
let
what I
me
mean?
I think.
Or like when he starts slashing the computers because he gets angry.
Well, I
you
think
know?
I think he wants to. Like
Is that for appearances?
No, I think he wants to get rid. I think he sees all of this shit as a problem, and he
Okay.
wants it all to go
Yeah.
away. So he's trying to eradicate all of it.
Yeah.
But he's only taking this specific route of travel in order to achieve this one element of the
Yeah.
game.
But even that conversation with him and Luke, you know, there's a level of bitterness where if he's that controlled and has a bigger mission. So I mean, I do.
No, but let's go into that because
Okay.
because I think he hates Luke.
Okay.
So in this picture, right?
Luke wants to hang on to the past. That's something that obviously didn't work before.
Well, no, I think it's that I think this was a kid. His father wasn't the greatest father, and then
Really?
and then he tells Rey like, "You would have been disappointed," because I think he knows. Like at this point,
Okay.
you know, his mother was doing all of the political shit and doing this Jedi shit.
Yeah.
She wasn't there for him either.
Yeah.
And it's the Jedi shit that took her away from him. So then he starts acting out.
Yeah.
Right? He goes to Luke. Luke is of this legacy that he feels like, you know, that's a conversation we should have also real quick. Remind me to circle back to that. But
Okay.
like, this is the one guy that's going to give a shit about me.
Yeah.
This is the one guy that's going to dedicate an element of his life. And I think they even say that him and Ben went around like just together before the school.
Yeah.
Like this is the one person in my life that is dedicated to me. And it's also the person that tried to kill me.
Yeah.
You know, and like I think he hates that motherfucker. Like I think that's real.
Maybe.
Like but you know the question I think it was Brink that brought it up to me is like, do we know that Kylo, like in universe, do we know that Kylo knows that Luke is his uncle? And do we know that?
Yeah. Yeah.
How?
I mean, he knows Leia. I mean,
Does he?
yeah. I mean, because doesn't Han even say something like, you know, I sent my, I don't know.
No, he trained a boy, is what he says.
Yeah, I have to go back and watch, but I think that's.
I think we all assume it.
Yeah, I mean,
And before this question was raised to me,
I mean, does Leia ever say, "I'm looking for my brother" to anybody?
not that I can remember.
Now you got me intrigued. Now you give me a reason to go back and watch 7 and 8. I don't even think I own 8. Is 8 still on Netflix?
I think so. I think Solo and 8 are on Netflix.
Okay.
But yeah, it's something I want to go back. I want to go back and watch them all with kind of these new spoiler things and see what else I can kind of, because you know, obviously they had to do it too. They had to,
of course.
you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
See, this is why comic books sometimes are my favorite medium, because comic book writers had to really, like, for large arcs, they got to fucking storyboard all that shit out for like the large
to do it well.
Yeah, but you know what I'm saying. But like movie sequels, you sometimes you go back to the drawing board with shit, and you get three different versions of a similar universe, and that happens to the MCU.
Yeah.
So I don't know.
Yeah. Also, so let's give a shout out. We can close up the show to the rest of the Cool Table Network. We got Shattercast Uncut, Enter the Realm, Beer and Bolters, 40, 30, 20K, Plastic Fanatic, Stasis Lock, Toy Detox, Building Up to It, Breaking the Mold, Fresh Communications, and Verbally Challenged. And I also want to say, we are welcoming a new person to the Nerd Rage team, but right after I get through the regular shout outs. Shout out to Black Phillip, Maryland Phillip. Shout out to Raul on Instagram. Shout out to Dante the Destroyer. And of course to our co-hosts Joe and Chris, who could not be here today. On the Nerd Rage channel, we're going to be doing The Force Sensitive, which is a new show that we're doing underneath the Nerd Rage banner. And it will be periodic, not unlike Irregular Collectors in that sense. And
Or Beer and Bolters 40K.
Or Beer and Bolters 40K. But like, Gort is co-hosting that with me, and I'm hoping to pass that off to someone else at some point once it kind of gets up and going. We have our first episode recorded where we take one person. We'd love to have you on.
Let's do it.
We take one person, and we it's just an interview with them about their Star Wars fandom from the first time they saw it, leading up until what they are feeling about Episode 9.
I ever saw in the theater.
Was it?
Yeah, Return of the Jedi.
No shit.
Yeah.
So, we have the first episode in the can. It's up on Patreon right now because we want feedback.
Yeah.
And then we're gonna put that out later this month or probably June, and it'll be a new show on the Nerd Rage channel. And with that,
Great tits.
tight dick player.